didn't. You only said it once.
You said it once.
So you heard me the first time. You son of a bitch.
Welcome, everybody, to Notebooks Given episode 118, right here on the Horny Goat YouTube channel. We had a fun, well, I was going to say normal evening, but I don't.
It's not fucking normal.
Yeah.
Nothing's normal about it. I don't know what is not normal. I worked. It was terrible. Now I'm here.
What is fun?
Eating popcorn. Popcorn tastes like fucking old leather.
Not in Milwaukee, I guess.
I'm sorry that you think you live in a third world country, pal.
Well, I feel third world.
If you're third world, which is supposed to be a first world country, I know our society is completely fucked.
It ain't good.
We got Basement JP and Heather here, in case you can't tell. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic week.
Oh, let me turn this off.
That would be helpful.
Sorry. Since Heather got YouTube Premium.
We got a shit ton of stuff to talk about. I have no idea what the list is.
That's okay. I will guide.
Oh, you're going to love this shit.
I know one of them I'm sure, will be the shock of all shocks that I have a decent amount to talk about, but we'll get
no,
there.
go ahead.
First, we have to talk about me and JP aligning our shit cycles.
Oh, yeah, that takes precedence.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Connor. What?
No, go ahead. Do you want to hear about the shit cycles first?
So apparently Basement seems to think that our cycles are aligned. Number one, our cycles are not anywhere near being aligned.
So close.
So
Just got to fix the chain.
I have had
from my mouth to your ass. I
have had the Hershey squirts for the last, 5 days, I guess. Where it hasn't been. And when I have to go to the bathroom, it isn't to pee, it is to poop. Right?
Sorry.
I've had the diarrhea the last couple of days.
But why are you asking her? Is there a report she keeps?
I've been drinking Milwaukee's Best.
Oh, man, that's a problem.
Well,
I'm telling you.
So, I am oversaid.
Case has been solved.
I did one this morning. I think the last time I took a poop this morning was... I told you. I said I'm fine. I think we got one more.
Yeah.
I told her
just before I went to make dinner.
Yeah.
It's really concerning that you're looking at her for validation on all your claims so far.
So my stomach doesn't feel like I always have to go to the bathroom.
But then it comes.
You ever
had
that
right?
where your stomach hurts?
It comes
and you're like,
you.
oh my god, I got to shit. So I had to do that, and I had the feeling of, oh my god, I got to poop.
The medicine I'm on
but
for
I go
my...
to sit down on the shitter.
And nothing comes. And then you walk away, and 5 minutes later, it's like, guess what, man? It
comes, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's the same shit that I just took.
It's about Jergen and the Chizat.
So what I do then is, I did that, and I haven't had to go since then.
Yeah, you purged.
So I started drinking Milwaukee's Best Light again. And I'm going to find out. Find out if that is actually the reason why.
Honestly, for some reason, drinking Old Milwaukee, it went in a liquid. It came out a liquid, but from my ass.
So I am going to debunk. What I am going to do, I'm using my body as science here, people.
I like how he's like
holding like he's got
breasts.
I've heard a lot of alcoholics start off their defense that way.
I am going to
just throwing that out there.
I am going to debunk Basement's theory on Old Milwaukee. Milwaukee's Best and Old Milwaukee are the same thing. Milwaukee's Best Light is more bottom of the barrel than Old Milwaukee is.
Why didn't it come out my
penis?
Tell you
why? Because I've had all of them. I have had every Miller beer there has ever been created. And that includes Miller High Life, which is worse than this. I can guarantee you.
It does the same thing for me that Bud Light does.
But I will tell you,
Budweiser.
we will test that theory.
Any of that?
Because I'm drinking them again.
You're going to be shitting your brains out in about an hour and a half.
Still concerned the fact that he's looked for Heather to validate and confirm everything he said so far.
And she does, because I'll tell her, I said, oh my God, here we go again. Every time, if I have to, Heather will be my witness. Heather will be my witness.
Grocery store.
No, Heather will be my witness.
She'll go on stand and be
As to
like,
Whether or
whether
not.
you
hand
will,
to God, he shit his brains out.
I'm not saying you have to come in there while I'm dropping the deuce.
Ugh.
I'm just telling you, when I get up to go, you document every time I go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay.
For the police.
You have to wear a doctor's coat.
I will do that. And if I had a doctor's
Spirit
coat,
Halloween is going to be opening soon.
that's true. Maybe I'll be Dr. Poopum.
They already started over up here. It's fucking unreal.
Doctor, you know,
What is that thing I heard? Where's
I'll be Dr. Poopy Pants for Halloween this year. If
So that makes you different.
if I come back, and I'll quit drinking Milwaukee's, but I don't like the feeling of having to go to the bathroom and my stomach hurting while I go to the bathroom. I will go to the doctor as well if it continues. However, just saying, I will be Dr. Poopy Pants for Halloween.
just cover
Man,
yourself
what
in
a loaded
shit?
answer to the
Basement is
question.
right.
How
If
was everyone's
Basement
weekend?
If basement is right.
You're gonna have to drink 24 cans of Old Milwaukee all at the same time.
You want so I have to do that. I'm not going to do it all at the same time, but I'll drink Old Milwaukee.
It's like the
I'll
eighth
do that
Purge
as a
movie.
bet. I don't care.
Him
You guys are
blasting
turning me
porcelain.
into an alcoholic over here.
Hold on. How are
No.
we?
I just said our shit cycles aligned.
Our shit cycles are not aligned. They may be,
Yeah, we're shit buddies.
but it has nothing. My point is, it has nothing to do with Old Milwaukee or Milwaukee's Best Life.
Yeah, at this point in time, we're like when women hang out together.
Guys, we don't hang out that often.
I'm always around.
I'm the turd around the corner. You can call me.
Basement night.
Kurt
If
Burglar.
you really want to know everybody, basement night maybe talk
All the time, constantly.
Friday and Sunday. Like we talk.
I message him every night before I go to bed.
But it's not like we get on a conversation on, hey, dude, do you want to get into Discord? I got nothing better to do with my life.
I message him right. Like, I hope you tucked yourself in.
Where did you get that silk robe?
We
He's
don't do
downplaying
that.
it.
That's what I'm getting at. But when we do hang out, I'm telling you, man, this is what you get when me and Basement hang out.
Shit buddies for life.
Conversations about poop.
That's the shit.
For those of you listening on the podcast format, just remember that. Conversations about poop.
It's one great
Everybody does it. It's a shared experience.
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean we're aligned.
Well, Connor said
I got
it's
everything
because
but
of
that
my medication, and he was going to say something like he shits his brains out, I have a feeling.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
There's
We're aligned.
the meds I'm on. There's little to no warning. There's little to no give. It's just like
I'm kind of in the same
you-
boat.
you-
I think
you
it's
get- you get the-
and all the bad things I do.
my mom, who's the nurse, she's like, oh, how you feel? Is it like painful? I'm like, it's not painful. It's just
It can become bad if you shit
there's
like
no
14
holding-
times a day.
It's like a personal trainer at the gym. There's no holding back.
Actually, talking about pooping, it hasn't been 14. Yesterday I did it like 6 times.
He was talking about his experience with his medications.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just continue.
He was active
No.
listening again.
We need a fucking sign on him or a switch or a bell or something like that. We need some sort of notification presence. on
Dude,
this.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well,
I'm sorry.
this
I'm
app
sorry.
hasn't been updated, so that's understandable.
I was listening, but
Actively.
both of you were talking. So
I was listening with my mouth.
I'm trying to gather information from this conversation. That's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. But you two are
All
talking.
I was
way
saying was
too
I'm on
fast.
meds for pre-diabetes and blood pressure. And so
Oh.
part of that is it's also got a weight loss component. It curbs my appetite. But one thing they're like, oh, it may. I always love it's like hindsight's 2020, right? Like it may cause you some bowel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, may, huh? Did you want to put that like big caps lock and like bold and underline the word
Every
may?
med I
'Cause
take is like, you're going to shit forever.
So
every med I take.
what I am going to do the next time that I have to have a colonoscopy, I'm going to stream it. I'm not going to stream me I want everybody to
No, you should
understand
do.
what I'm
You should
saying.
Procedure.
drink. You should,
Just-
you
just
should drink
say what
12
we've
old
shared.
Milwaukees and go get someone put something in your ass and see what happens. These fucking Mount St. Helens, you just explode all over the fucking office.
That's not where I'm going with this.
Mount St. Helens.
I'm thinking fundraiser for colon cancer.
My name
will
is
jump
colon
on-
cancer.
I will jump online. I will do a stream. I'm not going to go to the bathroom and poop, but we're going to do a stream where I have to, because I'm going to be up all fucking night like I was last year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And then we start the stream, and I'll sit here because I can't sleep.
I think giving
I
poor
can't-
Heather PTSD here from some previous fecal experiences.
I'm not
She'll
looking forward
be
to that.
well. With her fecal experience, she didn't have to go through my poop. That wasn't. But I will sit on a stream.
What the fuck?
I will sit on a stream with everybody, and I will run that
Literally,
fucking stream
sit on the
myself.
stream.
Yeah, and
Oh.
we'll see how much money we can raise for colon cancer.
I don't know if you heard me say this, but he's like, I will stream this. I'm like,
I will.
the procedure, right?
Hey, man.
And not the actual coming out of you. Yes.
I live in a third world country
no.
now.
Then we'll do something where
You gotta eat corn the day before.
I will record everything and I will get it, and Heather will edit it, and we'll put it on the stream.
My name is
And-
Colin Cancer. I have a lot of fruit flies.
But I think that would be pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah, I think we might need a bigger channel to make any money for
and I
colon cancer.
understand that.
I guess even
but that-
$5 is good for
trying to
colon
get views and likes. I mean, that happens.
We'll get wait. We'll get one of those.
We'll get views, and we might get some subscribers out of it.
Are you down
But
with the brown?
I'm literally, seriously, I'm 51 fucking years old.
Young.
And I'm scared shitless. Like
You already
when
had
I
someone
went-
up your ass, though.
I'm getting older.
We are a lot. I gotta get my ass looked at soon. I don't want that.
I'm just being honest with everybody. I think it'd be something pretty cool. And if we can't raise money, I just keep showing the same. If I die next year, just keep showing the same fucking video over and over again every year. It's like this motherfucker died of colon cancer.
It's butt stuff with JP.
But then I guarantee it. And you guys didn't subscribe to Cure Cancer.
Look what you did to me.
But then you make a whole. Oh my god.
Oh no.
So I've literally been watching Viva La Dirt League, and I just want this has to do with me going to school and everything. I'm just being straight up honest with you. So I watched a video today of mental health, and they did a thing of social media, which are kind of getting into kind of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. And there's a couple other things, but the social media and how they did it, and you have to watch the video to really understand it. But it is exactly. Like this guy, I don't even know what it was that he was on. It wasn't Twitter or one of those popular ones. Never heard of it, but you have him type. Well, it's from New Zealand now, so I don't know all of this. I'm 51. I don't know all the sites, but he's talking about.
I think it was their made up version of like Instagram.
Sure, or Facebook or whatever, but. It just them talking, and he's like his mom. It's talking to his mom, and he's like literally giving an answer, like the legitimate. This is how I feel answer, and he.
That was actually just a text message. That's Apple text message window.
Okay, Apple Text. So it's an app.
He's 51, guys.
Well, I use that shit, but I'm just saying.
Let's just say what you're saying.
And I don't know all the apps.
I don't know.
I know the ones.
All I know is Grinder.
Really good, and but then he deletes that whole message. Like he says the whole message, he deletes it and says, "Yep, cool," or "See you then." But then he goes back to the response of the person that sent the message, which was his mom, and his mom. It's like in real life messaging. It's a really good message. So they are the inspiration as to why I'm going to school for mental health and wellness. Alongside of what I do personally.
Oh, I hope
as
you don't get my case then.
in my career, is taking care of people that need help. That's what I do. Now I'll make fun of fucking somebody all the fucking time.
Oh, where we're gonna go later tonight? It's not gonna be good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Make sure you're steering us on the right path there in the basement.
I don't know. I mean, before I watch this,
a few of the topics are just they're gonna make us go just completely a different direction.
So the most fucked up thing is JP's like, I watch this and I'm going to mental health and wellness. I literally watched part of a South Park episode where Cartman pretends to be retarded at the Special Olympics right before this.
Yeah,
we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle. But I'm with you, like JP. I'm in the same boat. I work in that kind of world too, so. I say fucked up shit, but I would help people.
But if you can't laugh at it,
then you
make fun of it, and I'm go ahead.
You've got no business telling somebody else what they can and can't laugh at.
So you can't tell a joke without somebody being offended. Is the word I'm going with?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you can't laugh at something, that is honestly a mental health thing. And I get it.
It's also a life experience thing. And you can't expect everybody, like, that's the thing when people like jump down people's throats for laughing at something. Yes. Nobody lives your life experience, right? So like if you're really raw on something and somebody says something, they're not like targeting you. They're just like they don't know. And
so the whole joke thing is the person that's telling the joke is seeing what this person is doing in front of them. That's what they're doing is the joke. They're actually, and I don't know, back in the 80s, 90s, which is one of the greatest decades. I'm sorry. For what I've lived through, I can honestly say the 80s are the greatest decade ever.
Yeah, and also made the greatest people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, they made a bunch of dumbasses.
Mm-hmm.
However,
I
agree with that.
Well, okay, oh my God. I just realized something.
You're talking to three people who are
there you go.
I'm being honest. I am 51 years
honestly,
old.
Heather, I'm surprised
I can honestly say I am a dumbass. So anything before what would happen, I mean, my mom, like, we did we told Granny what Wendy did this week. And I told her, I said, when I tell Granny, you aren't going to fucking like it. And I told her how I'm like, Wendy, what did you do? And she goes, you got grounded. Because she laughed about it. Mom knew it was. And she's like all excited to tell it. And I said, it's not good. And Mom's eyes, you seen Mom's eyes. She went.
Takes off the bill.
She started. She got mad. She said,
"Go get me a tree branch from outside, Wendy."
Switch.
We actually had a tree.
More of that tree in the front came off during one of the tornado warnings we had.
I'm not shitting on people that were born in the 80s. The 80s is the greatest decade ever. Why? Especially for
the people that were born in the 80s.
It had the best movies. It had the best movies. The best people. The best music. It had the best people. You were born. Don't get excited. That doesn't make you a great person. Being born in the 80s.
I was born great. It was huge celebration.
That is JP at everyone's fucking birthday.
Yeah,
you're born. Don't get excited.
Look at this child. You were born. Don't get excited.
I will say the 80s.
His Hallmark card.
Like if you go and look at Idiocracy, how everybody thinks our society is going, I don't think it is. I mean, I hope it doesn't
It's getting there.
But
I would say the last people that were like actual fucking human beings, not formed by social media shit, were probably born in the 90s. towards like mid '90s, and then it kind of just turned into shit.
Well, the early '90s were really good. And listen, I'm prejudiced because I lived that decade too. I was a grown ass adult
from '78 to '96.
For me in the '90s, I was a tweener guy. I was like. So in the '80s, like a lot of the fucking movies that you see about the underdog, about the guy who couldn't find a girlfriend, and at the end he does. That's what they did in the '80s. Sometimes I was one of those guys.
Well, they had the exact same thing with the women.
I got
with
the
like She's All That and those type of movies. Where it was
like, well, no, that's
or
90.
Fucking,
that's
90s. I'm still saying
they did it a different way.
They had what is it? Fucking
the
99 candles or 9 candles, whatever the fucking
16 candles.
Yeah, well, I knew it was a number.
So in 16 candles, I would be Anthony Michael Hall in high school.
I got 99 candles, but a bitch ain't one.
I would be the one. I would literally be the sex crazed Anthony Michael Hall in 16 Candles. If you have not seen it,
I have seen it. But I watched the sequel, 99 Candles, much better.
Oh man, you really make me want to just quit this game of putt and just make a Photoshop.
I'm just saying, that's how I was. That's how I was in the '90s. I was probably. I don't know. Give me a.
You were 13 when I was born. I was 86, so 10 years
right.
from that.
That's I was 23.
Yeah, I think honestly, for me too, I was way more sex crazed post high school.
When I was crazed when I was 23, but I was married.
I was just thinking it was just fucking
full of cum. I graduated in 1991.
I was sweating sperm.
I was at the end of the hair band. I was that teenager at the end of the hair band going into the grunge rock age. It like changed like really fast. Like you started hearing about Nirvana and Fish.
So did like the alternative scene was like fucking 4 years long. And then I don't know what it became. It became where are you?
I grew up with all that. That's what when I was in high school, and then the '90s, and then then it was like the kind of rock and roll they were like Bush, and fucking all them guys.
That was like alternative rock.
Again, that's another transition that I've gone through in music.
It's so weird because if you ask anybody that's probably pre-2000, a lot of their landmarks in life are also distinguished by music. Yeah. And after 2000, no fucking way. It's all garbage for the most part.
In 1994, I was introduced to a band. I didn't know they existed because I didn't listen to that music. In 1994, I listened to.
Do you like JoJo Siwa?
Weezer.
Weezer's good. I like Weezer.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy fucking shit! I learned about Weezer when I was in Haiti.
They're not my favorite, but
I actually fucking love I love Weezer's music. Their newer stuff isn't as good
because it's more political.
Okay, nobody's newer stuff is as good.
Political. It just became. They were trying to be weird.
There's a moment in time where the politics leaked into everything and ruined everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even got. Okay, so hold on. We haven't got to any of our topics.
It was more. I wouldn't say it was. It was like right after the Yip Yip song that they did.
Mm-hmm.
That they kind of transitioned into this weird rock acid.
A lot of bands
90s. It was.
I always found it weird that a lot of bands really hit it off with a certain style of music, and they only do like 2 to 3 albums, and then they start to transition into whatever's the more popular thing at the time, and it kills fucking half of them, to be honest.
So I hate to say this, but the transition,
Miley Cyrus.
I like Miley Cyrus. I'm not gonna lie. The transition, she had a couple of good songs. The transition of Metallica. You look at Metallica and what they did. They're like one of the most popular bands. Like we talk about
Any
And the
band that
hair bands
makes
during
like
the time, the hair bands during, because Metallica was around, but they were that thrash metal that was starting to come on scene for heavy metal. Which everybody considered like there were people in when I was in school, high school, people would literally argue what is heavy metal and what isn't. People would literally argue Metallica is more heavy metal because of the way, the headbanging. Poison did it, but it was, I'm going to do a duck face as part of my headbanging, which is essentially what Poison, Motley Crue, so the 80s hair band
those fucking
look,
femboys.
looking like femboys, but every fucking girl wanted them. I never went into that transition because I looked at somebody and said, dude, you got to do this. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking, and I had long hair, but I'm not going to dress up like fucking goddamn, what's his
Bret
fucking,
Michaels?
Nikki Sixx?
From the back, you might want to fuck him.
Crew. I'm not going to fucking put my hair up. Like, I was that other 80s guy.
You meant Nikki
trying
Sixx?
to fit in. I was the 80s nerd. I was Anthony Michael Hall.
I'm telling you, you walked up to Nikki Sixx in a bar. If he was turned around, you'd probably be like, "Can I get your
Yeah.
Have you ever seen? You've seen Beer Fest, right?
Yeah.
That part where he finds out his cousin. Oh my God! Oh my God! I would be that guy. If Nikki Sixx. No, and that's in all honesty, that's how I was back then. But now, I don't give a fuck.
The problem is, I think musical taste is defined in your early years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's defined up until you hit about 25, 30, and then what you like is what you like. Not to say you can't like new music, and people that are really into music, probably in the industry, they will learn and go with more. But
what Jurgen just said.
Yeah, Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys, when they came, Michelle, my sister, we were in a car. She introduced me to the Beastie Boys. I'm like,
she didn't waterboard you with the Beastie Boys.
Oh, she did, because that's what my sister did. Well, if you're gonna go out with me,
we're more than
shit. No, do it.
We're more than shit buddies. We're sister buddies.
My sister was awesome though.
My sister was awesome too.
She didn't make me.
I have to make fun of her.
Didn't make me watch Beetlejuice over and over and over and over again. Or what was the movie that she made you watch?
Cutting Edge.
Cutting Edge.
I watched the Cutting Edge. I watched all of Buffy, which wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't something I would normally be like, I need to watch all this.
Because let me be honest.
I watched Dawson's Creek, for fuck's sakes.
To be honest, I understand. To be honest with you, my sister, I had control. Now, I shouldn't say that. She was never home.
I was like close enough in age for
my sister. The story of my two sisters, that is great. We haven't always had the greatest of relationships, but I do love both of my sisters. It's because we're step siblings. We're not
blood
siblings. So my dad remarried and adopted my two sisters. Oh my God. The shit that I went to as a kid. I let it go. like Elsa did. But my brother is like Anna. Is trying to find his way. And then I got another brother who turns into the Wicked Witch of the West. It's crazy. It's so that's my family in a nutshell. But hey, I love it.
I'm gonna take a look at the chat here for a second. Then we should probably get started with our topics.
Yeah, I just wanted.
This all started with pooping.
So
best intro ever.
This fucking piece of shit fruit motherfucker.
Well, the music thing was kind of
Asian's swatting an imaginary fly that doesn't exist.
I'm swatting something.
The drugs.
Yeah, most likely. I was born in 1984 as Jurgen, so he's in our grouping for the most part. Alpha's not that much younger, than us. So
he's around the same age as Rayshawn.
So you were born when Wendy were. Well,
Wendy were.
You were born when my oldest daughter.
That's better.
Was probably conceived.
Same day.
So my daughter is a year older than you, or you're younger than me.
Small world.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Beastie Boys, yes. I discovered Metallica through Beavis and Butthead. I think that was the avenue for a lot of people.
Well,
for
that
certain
was
music.
one of them. That Beavis and Butthead. I could probably do a whole episode on Beavis and Butthead. I think we've talked about Beavis and Butthead, but Beavis and Butthead, when I like that's where I was in my life, watching Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead.
Watching Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was. I never really got into it
When
too
did
much.
Beavis and Butthead start? Wasn't it like 91?
I think.
Yeah, it was
90, 91. Well, I was in high school, so I was graduating, but I had a friend who's like, hey, let's watch Beavis and Butthead. And we would sit and drink and watch Beavis and Butthead.
I feel like that is kind of the audience that was meant for Beavis and
and that's what it
Not
was
so
meant
much
for.
like
It wasn't
younger audiences.
That's what I was as a kid. And then I went to college, and then I'm like, I want to watch Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
I was
Celebrity
with
Deathmatch.
1993.
1993. So yeah, it was right around the time Danielle was born. That's where I was in my life. I was watching Beavis and Butthead. I was getting. I'm gonna be honest with everyone.
Hand jobs left, right, and
I was
center.
getting high. This
Mostly
is every
for
day.
myself.
This is when I lost touch with wrestling. 1993. I was getting high. I was drinking. I was partying.
Narc.
And then my daughter was born. Well, actually, I moved back home, and that's when my mom told me, said, you need to either get a job or
Join the military.
And look at here we are today, people. That's how that all started.
Funny
that's how
life works.
That's the story of my life from 93 to 2024.
So Jurgen says his 2-year-old sisters listen to New Kids on the Block. My first cassette was Michael Jackson, and he went on to fuck kids. So I actually don't think Michael Jackson ever fucked kids. I think he was just. I think he might have viewed naked children.
My sister. That's that's the waterboarding that my sister did to me, was making me listen.
I had Alanis Morissette. Fucking Christ, I would burn her at the stake. And always the warbling.
It was the beat, but she didn't waterboard me with the Beastie Boys because I actually like the Beastie Boys. But she waterboarded the shit out of me with Michael Jackson and Prince. Here, we're going to listen to this. Oh, my God. Purple Rain. Purple Rain. And this is how I am as a 16-year-old, 15-year-old kid sitting in where I'm listening to heavy metal.
Wearing purple.
Like Metallica and Poison, and I got to listen to this shit.
You see, my favorite genres of music and when they throw those weird things together and it just works. Heavy metal and fucking Prince. Just make it happen.
That's where I was in life at 16.
Yeah, I think we all kind of went through the same journey at different times, though I don't know the experience of the younger generation.
I killed homeless people until I was 16.
So the waterboarding experience, that's my
Nothing.
waterboarding.
No reaction from anybody. Okay.
But you killed homeless people. What are you, fucking American Psycho?
So
I put the face mask on. I do 8,000 crunches.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, if I did 8,000 crunches, I would die.
Yeah,
right now.
if you by 8,000 crunches you mean like the crunch bar, then yeah.
Well, he would put on Texas Chainsaw
Why would you
Massacre and
do
work
that?
out.
And why would you do that?
So he's the perfect man. But he's like, and even now, I'm not there. But that movie is fucking funny because he's such a fucking complete pile of shit. A girl walks into his office, don't wear that dress again. You're better than
American
that.
Psycho.
Yeah, that movie is a weird fucking movie.
Oh my god, that card.
It's him being a psycho, though.
Yeah, but it's like a weird it's not necessarily it's a weird take on corporate America at the time.
Yeah,
Why isn't it possible?
I think it's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
And how most CEOs and big businessmen are sociopaths.
It's kind of crazy that I appreciate that movie quite a lot more
as you got older.
20 years later.
It's one of those things where it's you're watching what's playing out, but you know what they're kind of referring to, and they're fucking they're in the business meeting and they'll pull out their cards and it's like the samurai sword ting. It's like, oh my god, it's White Bone Hollow.
So Jurgen said this. Jurgen said there were also great stores from Toys R Us to Suncoast to Best Buy. Best Buy wasn't a thing when I was growing up.
You know what I'll tell you?
Toys R Us and Suncoast were fucking awesome because that's where I bought my video games.
The biggest
Toys R Us. That's where I got my Transformers and GI Joes.
The biggest losses in terms of stores, Toys R Us, Blockbuster. I'm telling you, man, my youth was born in Blockbuster.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Friday nights in there looking for a movie that your
and then it was all sold out, or it was all gone out, and you end up getting fucking monkey shines or some shit.
Yeah.
So we didn't have Blockbusters. I don't remember when Blockbusters actually was built.
84 to 90.
But you could go to the grocery store. But you could go to our local grocery store.
Mid to late 90s, I think. I would say.
When I was growing up, you could literally go to a grocery store and rent a video. Or you could rent a game system for a weekend.
There were like video stores.
Or if you couldn't afford it, because a lot of people couldn't afford that shit. Mom couldn't afford that shit.
Yeah.
So we rented a video game and then rented a couple of games that we wanted to play. And yeah, that's what we did.
The first Blockbuster opened on October 19th, 1985.
Ooh. So, I don't remember Blockbuster actually becoming very big until
I was 12, 13. Because when did you say September?
85.
September?
October 19th.
Oh, October 9th. So I was 13 when Blockbuster became a thing, but before then we could buy videos or not buy.
But there was other like versions of Blockbusters in certain places where it wasn't Blockbuster, but it was a video store, and usually they were partnered with some other store.
The problem with us is we would have had to go to Madison to rent, so the grocery stores then made it even more of a thing. Hey, you can rent the video or video game or the system. And that's what they would let us do.
I remember.
I think you could do that with Blockbuster too.
Yeah, you could rent the video game console. It was like you rent the console for 7 days, and the video games were either like 3 or 5 or 7 days, depending on how much you paid. But I do remember like it being that thing where, like Heather said, every Friday night, and instead of like, because the movie theater was so expensive. In comparison, like you did the cheap version, but it was such an experience. You go to the store, and as a young kid, you're like scouring these movies, and like you pick out your thing, or you go to the video games, you pick out that, and it was like you knew you were in for something good, right?
Well, you know,
it just doesn't that type of experience. I don't know if it exists anymore.
So it doesn't. So
it's just get Netflix and stream shit.
I think there is. There's a family video. I could be wrong. We'll actually
honestly, if like I had children, if there was a family video, I would probably rely on that more so than Netflix, Amazon. Like I'd still have them for my own viewing, but for children, just for the experience to go and experience that video store hype.
Oh yeah. So my first movie for that experience, because they weren't really a thing. The movie that I wanted to see was Mortal Kombat. Like I waited,
the greatest song ever.
Waited for that fucking movie to come out. And I finally got to see it, and when I seen it, I grabbed the popcorn and I was sitting there like this for an hour and 45 minutes. I was enthralled, and then I'm like, that was the dumbest fucking movie I have ever.
Well, that's the beauty of it. The one thing I loved about the video stores is they introduced me to like shit movies that at the time I was like, every now and then you got a movie that was pretty shit, but you just were like, I fucking love this movie. I don't care.
But it is. I did love this movie. I did like.
Everybody, I think the first Mortal Kombat is universally loved, even though everybody knows it is what it is.
Nobody in the history of watching this movie has, especially when it's a rewatch, and it's compared to the newer material that's out there as far as graphics and all that. Nobody has ever said that Mortal Kombat, the original one, was a good fucking movie.
I think if
we just fucking love it.
Hey, it's still the best Mortal Kombat movie made.
I think if Mortal Kombat came out, I'd probably be more into it because they could do more. But anyway, that's a whole nother situation.
I still think the first Mortal Kombat is better than the new one.
Oh yeah,
by like a hair. The second one was just absolutely
They're gonna go through the center of the earth.
with
You went through the center of the fucking earth
with those
you would
fucking
disintegrate.
balls. They were like in big mothballs, just traveling.
Yeah.
It was really stupid. But when Connor gets back, we'll get to our points. We have quite a few.
I'm here.
Okay, Connor, are you ready? What's the first point? I don't know.
What? I said
joking.
literally
I
at the
do know.
beginning of this fucking thing.
What do you guys want to start with? Yeah, you want to start with something serious, fun,
I
stupid?
don't care. You got the flow of this shit going. Go.
Oh.
Well, let's go with something serious.
You wanna do something serious?
So the
we can
biggest
focus in.
Yeah, the biggest story that we have for something serious is the passing of Kevin Sullivan.
That is a good
Who?
story. Kevin Sullivan?
I hate you,
I'm
Connor.
kidding.
He's like, I'm gonna step away for a second to become a complete cunt. I'll be back.
Kevin Sullivan?
Doesn't take long.
So for me personally, this one kind of hits home for me.
This is the Baywatch episode, by the way.
As far as wrestling booking goes, he was a great worker. Let's get the ring stuff out of the way. And I'm being serious at this time. His in-ring work was good. Was it great? I wasn't a huge fan of it. But what he was really good at was getting heel heat.
Yes.
He was very much like, from the little bit I've seen of this man, and I came off as like a good character actor. Whatever character he was in, it's like, oh, he'll give it his all. He never struck me as someone that was going to be like a main event star, but
Do you want to know how he became a main event star? This is why WWE. This was the start of the wars when he had the feud with Hulk Hogan. He was the manager / every now and then he could get involved in a match guy. He was a manager because he was booking at this time. And the story he told, and I know that the matches, he created matches that he created the Tower of Doom, right?
Yep.
I think he did. I could be wrong. I don't kind
I
of
was gonna say he was like the test for the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah, we have it at home.
When he was like that dark leader or whatever they did with him.
Well, so there's been some shit, but am I right, Connor? Yes or no? Did he create that?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So and I know Connor has some things to say about this man, so I'm going to give him his.
No, you keep going. It's all good.
I know.
I have nothing more to add than what I said. So go ahead.
I'm sorry. He was, to me, if I was to book a heel, he would be the guy I call. So good at what he did. Yes, I know he had some shit. The Tower of Doom. I'm gonna say it. The Yeti.
Well, it's the WCW effect, I think, as well.
No, that was Kevin Sullivan. Now Eric Bischoff.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's the WCW effect to be like, do this terrible thing.
If you go and listen to 83 Weeks, Eric Bischoff says, I was an executive producer at this time. I wasn't acting as Eric Bischoff, leader of the NWO. He would just like, okay, yep, whatever. Kevin, I trust you. So Kevin created it, and he put the whole storyline together. Eric Bischoff had nothing to do with it. He wrote off on it, signed off on it, because he was that guy. He wasn't involved in it. It wasn't until the NWO that Eric Bischoff got involved in the storytelling end of things. That was all Kevin Sullivan. So for everybody that shits on WCW back then, you're shitting on a guy that was really good at booking heel heat. Even if he couldn't beat Hogan, he still got heel heat. So good at it. and I 100% would love to pick his brain someday. That is all I have to say.
Go get the
Kind of
shovel.
late for that.
No, I don't know if I
Like a shovel.
overspoke, but that honestly, because I grew up watching his booking, so genius. So genius. And this isn't me just because he passed away. It's so fucking genius. He was a genius. An underestimated a lot of shit Triple H does today. Kevin Sullivan was an influence of that. Carry on.
Carry up my wayward
Good
son.
fucking
That's
song.
exactly where my brain went too.
Good
Yeah.
fucking song. You can go ahead. I'm done. I'll sit here and I'll call bullshit. But go ahead.
So, Kevin Sullivan, in my opinion, top 5 bookers of all time. I think there's very little people I think who would argue that.
If anybody says you're wrong.
He started in Florida with Jerry Graham, who taught him how to book, and he did his big thing was that he had his gimmick was that he was possessed. He was possessed by the devil, and he was a devil worshiper.
Oh, good.
And he really, especially in the 70s going into the 80s, he was very committed to the bit, where the point where you'd see him doing like, these crazy rituals and this, fucking crazy ass bullshit out in the middle of the woods. And it would also, lo and behold, be how he met his wife, Woman, because Kevin Sullivan is also the ex-husband of Woman, aka Nancy Benoit.
Mhm.
And when Florida and Georgia got bought by Turner, merged into WCW, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, Kevin Sullivan got thrown onto the booking team, but he was also obviously known for the Dungeon of Doom, with which introduced a young up-and-coming young lad who would later be known as the fucking Big Show, as the Giant, Andre's fucking son, which, I mean, hey, if they're going to try and pull the illegitimate kid bullshit off, I mean...
Can I say something real quick?
Uh-huh.
I do want to say one thing. Because of Kevin Sullivan, he booked the Big Show better than anybody ever has. Just gonna say it.
He also had the best version of the Big Show.
Uh-huh.
He did. He had the young
Before his legs
Andre.
collapsed on each other.
He, of course, had the infamous, he booked his own divorce.
Mhm.
That
Where
was fucking even he hated Chris Benoit.
Yep. There's also accusations that Kevin Sullivan was also, physically abusive towards Nancy, but then as things progressed in WCW, he kind of took a fall to the back in terms of like he was more focused on just creative stuff. And one big thing that he was also big in terms of developing early on was the career of Bill Goldberg. He was the one who handpicked Hugh Morris, Bill DeMott, to be Goldberg's first victim.
And at the time, Bill DeMott was considered one of the best workers in the company behind what's his name?
Didn't he get let go for
Regal.
women?
William Regal. Steven Regal. Steven Regal. Steven Regal was the reason Goldberg got exposed.
Yes.
Because Steven Regal was like, Eric Bischoff told him, you give me 6 minutes, I'll give you 6 minutes. Had Kevin Sullivan been there, he probably would have been like, hey, you might
Sullivan's last contribution to the business, to my understanding, in terms of like a major like role, was that he did come back for a brief stint as the head writer and head booker for WCW, literally after they got rid of Russo the first go round.
Yeah. Yep. So he literally, and it's been said, he literally filled in, and Bischoff, I think, has said this. They literally, he tried saving because he didn't want to let it go. So Kevin Sullivan was very passionate. And there was one story where Kevin, and it was Bruce Pritchard.
Mm-hmm.
He told this story about when they took over WCW, how Kevin Sullivan had once applied for whatever. He had WCW had let him go or whatever, and
I think he applied to be a writer.
He got in with Vince, whatever. I think that had a lot to do with whatever. When the whole, and Bruce Pritchard probably did it, but Stephanie met him in a hotel and she asked him for a resume. At the time, Stephanie was probably 24.
I was gonna say she was pretty young.
Because that was like 2000? Yeah, something like that. Because she's like 4 or 5 years younger than me.
Did she have those bazooms?
Yes, she did.
Oh, yeah.
But, wait. Yeah, well, I think she was getting them. But it was right after the Undertaker. She had just come on the scene. So she just graduated college in real life.
Yeah.
And that's when they did the Undertaker and her story. But the Kevin Sullivan story is Stephanie asked him for a resume. And it might have been Jim Cornette that told the story and just said, "Do you not know who I am?" I'm like, so it was, Kevin Sullivan was well known in the wrestling industry. He's a great booker. And I bet he would have worked for WWE. And probably a lot of the heel storylines that were in WWE, I bet he would have booked John Cena's heels better than what we're booked.
I do feel like there is.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
When it comes to booking, it seems like the people that are succeeding now are the people that were active wrestling in the Attitude Era.
Triple H?
Yeah.
Triple H looks just fucking like him right now. He's booking some of his matches just like Kevin Sullivan.
Well, that's because they learned from it, but it's also like you kind of trim the fat of what came before.
Yeah.
You know, you don't fall through the same holes that some of the previous bookers did, but wrestling was so different then than it is now. There's so much similarities, don't get me wrong, but like the over the top.
He's trying to. I think Triple H is trying to modernize it.
Yeah, and it makes sense. He has to.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Well, this is essentially the problem that's happening with AEW. They are stuck in a past that no longer exists. Right? Like, I mean, the things I keep seeing, it's like every time I see a wrestling match, it's some sort of stipulation. They're trying to be ECW. They're trying to be WCW. They're trying to be the Attitude Era, and they're just not succeeding at any of them. And it kind of leads us into our next topic, which is still wrestling related. The CEO.
But Connor, can we go back to? Are you done with Kevin Sullivan? I want to hear more because I know that you're a big wrestling historian. I'm sorry.
No, the only real thing I was going to mention too was like I said at the beginning is that in my opinion, top 5 greatest bookers of all time, he's up there. He was very good about attention to detail, very good at portraying heel. Like I said, he kind of knew the right way to position Bill Goldberg. He's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's going to be after this.
Oh, he will be. I think he will be either way. I can personally, honestly, and truly tell you right now, there are 2 bookers. There's the Dusty Rhodes booker, and there's the Kevin Sullivan booker. I've heard there. So a finish. I'm talking about a finish. There's a Dusty finish, and there's a Kevin Sullivan finish. A Dusty finish is a babyface finish. But Kevin Sullivan did a really good job of doing a heel finish while still putting the babyface over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they do both, but everything seems to be fucking interference.
Kevin Sullivan got heels over.
It's kind of ironic that the WrestleMania 40 main event essentially had a Dusty finish.
Yeah.
It had a combination.
I was not okay. It's not bad, but I didn't like it like I should have. Like I gave the match is still not bad. Like it's still I can't say it's shit, but
that's the kind of booking I'm talking about.
It's overbooked.
It was,
Yeah,
and
he
that
was-
was a
he was-
Kevin Sullivan thing, but it was properly overbooked. in my
I don't mind
opinion.
overbooking, but at WrestleMania, sometimes I think the simpler
Oh,
answer is the better answer.
Kevin Sullivan's known for overbooking. The Yeti, anybody?
I'm finding the same kind of thing with Triple H now. I mean, I found it in NXT to a point where he let things go on too long. He didn't so much suffer from what he's suffering from now, which is we have to keep building. The stories
Yeah.
never end. So like that to me is like I don't know if I like fucking 5-year wrestling builds. In
No.
all honesty, I can see the start and end at WrestleMania for some things, the start and end at SummerSlam for others. And
Yeah.
it just seems like every feud that he has going on, they're intriguing and he does a good job with them, but they just go on and on and on.
It's too much of the it's too much of the opposite problem.
Yeah, I mean it's not really a problem because the product is still good. You know what I mean? Like like you can't really shit on something that's a 7 out of 10, but you can
Right.
at least say, you know,
Watch me.
there. Well, you know me. Can't stop shitting on.
Fallout.
But yeah, it's very much we'll have to see in the long run because it hasn't been that long. But the sample size I have for Triple H has kind of been sometimes things
Mediocre.
run a bit long, and it hasn't been as good as it could have been. He's
Yes.
also dealing with a massive roster and trying to keep people that are hype for longer. I get the problem is, and because I'm not booking it, and it's because I have no involvement in that industry,
Mhm.
I probably am saying things that could have honest answers from them. It's hard to keep everyone hype and merchandise sales if you end storylines quicker. You know what I mean? Like if someone's hot,
Yeah.
why not keep them hot for as long as you can?
I agree.
Which
He keeps it going too
financially
long.
makes sense, but they do kind of go on about a half a year too long for most of
But
them.
I think what Triple H is trying to do is he's trying to tell.
It's
a
not
whole
bad,
story.
and it could actually be fucking amazing.
Oh,
If that
think-
moment
I
hits,
think
you know
when
it's going to
he
be
says-
great.
I think when he says a story never ends, is you're always going to see a callback to it.
Well, the one thing
The
I hated
story-
about the WrestleMania is like finish my story, and it was literally everybody else finishing the story for him,
Yeah.
which is not a great in my mind. Yeah, you're gonna get the huge pop, but booking wise, you booked it to be one thing and showed us another.
So if you, yes, it was overbooked as far as all the people showing up, but what really made it for me is whenever somebody would get involved, except for the last one, it would be against a person. So both of them were beat up, and
Yeah.
so it really
Cody
did.
Rhodes
for
did
me-
finish the match by
It
himself.
really did finish for me in that aspect. And yes, I know it was over, but I think it was overbooked properly.
Yeah, and I can understand and respect that perspective.
I don't
Honestly.
hate. There's one other thing, and we'll talk about it since we're talking about booking, and then I'll get to the fucking CEO because now we can really transition into fucking AEW. Is a response I fucking made to somebody on fucking X about fucking Kenny Omega when he responded with in 2017 the storyline of him chasing a title that was better than the Shawn Michaels Undertaker story of the retirement.
No,
Because you
it,
agreed 100%.
he didn't have the same stakes on the line. First of all, second
No.
of all, it was don't get me wrong, Okada
No.
and him were great.
She's going to say the storyline chase was good. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. It wasn't bad. You understood. And I've said it over and over and over again to fucking people. I watched New Japan. We literally watched New Japan.
We used to watch it together.
COVID. Yes, on COVID. So I know how
It's like a streaming platform.
I know how they booked in New
Yeah, I know
Japan.
what that
I'm
had
going
to
to
do
tell
with it,
you
okay.
right fucking now. Kenny Omega was booked better in New Japan
Than
than
he
he
is
is
by
in
his friends.
AEW.
Yeah, because you saw less of him, and New Japan prioritized in-ring wrestling.
You see, everybody's like Okada. Shut the fuck up. Okada shouldn't be involved in a storyline with two fucking guys that are only they jump from AJ Styles. This is how the Young Bucks are, everybody. They jumped from AJ Styles' hip pocket to Kenny Omega's hip pocket
To Cody Rhodes.
to Cody Rhodes' hip pocket. Who are the leaders of the fucking goddamn... And who are the leaders of the Bullet Club?
The Bullet Club's
Everybody can say that Cody wasn't the leader of the Bullet Club. But everybody knew who Cody was.
Okay, so
they latched onto them, and for them to sit there and say, "Well, I didn't." Bullshit! Shut the fuck up.
New Japan is a weird comparison because no matter how much it is wrestling, it is different.
Better. Kenny Omega was booked way better in New Japan than he was.
New Japan is an anomaly.
He's an EVP act.
You can't compare booking of New Japan to either WWE or of AEW because the audience is expecting different things. Different things are prioritized. It's presented much more of like a sport with the flamboyancy of entrances because most of the talking takes place after the match in a press conference that now WWE and AEW have got on, right? It just... The in-ring was so good, and they told stories in-ring, and you really relied on the announcer, like the fucking commentators, to kind of put you through it. I really liked Kenny Omega, his whole run in New Japan. But the problem after that is once he comes over to back home, he doesn't have the skill set.
Yeah.
He's an amazing wrestler, but it's also like if you wrestle a guy 1,000 times a fucking month, you can wrestle circles around each other.
But my point to this response is like, he went on this whole tirade about him and Okada and the story they were telling. And again, and what I said at the beginning of this is everything's subjective.
Yeah.
You like it, that's fine. It's not going to work here.
The problem...
In my opinion, again, and I literally kept saying, I did not hate the Kenny Omega Okada booking. It was actually really good. It's not as good as fucking the story that fucking Shawn Michaels and Undertaker took.
No, because there's not enough story there. And AEW is a planet circling a black hole. But they don't realize they can't fix the planet. They need to fucking change where they live. They need to leave. They need to fucking reform what their product is.
But this isn't even an AEW thing. This is a Kenny Omega when he was in New Japan compared to...
This is somebody that just likes in-ring wrestling more than they like storytelling.
And that's fine. And I gave him that. I said, you like the in-ring stuff more. They did a better job of it. I think I said that. They do a better job of it and did a better job of it in New Japan than they do in AEW. Yeah. So there's that.
But New Japan is more hard-hitting, and they also let them wrestle forever. So, I mean, that's kind of what you're going to get.
It gets over here, and when they do have those kinds of matches, they look fake as fuck. Because in Japan, they can do more.
Also, Japan presents things differently. It feels more like a UFC event. They have these small tables. They have the people on the outside, and they cut to them a lot, the commentators, right? And the commentators are really running you through it. Here, I could fucking turn off the commentary and know what's going on, but you do lose aspects of storytelling if you haven't been watching weekly. This kind of leads us into the absolute plane crash that, in my mind, it is Mercedes Moné. Connor, what are your thoughts on her?
On who? Mercedes Moné?
Yeah, and her AEW run so far.
Holy hell in the handbasket. I don't like her anymore. I just don't. I like, look, truth be told, sometimes have a blind loyalism to people from Massachusetts, right? Like, Cena. Yep, exactly. So, and I was like, oh, cool, Sasha's from Mass, yay, cool, all that fun jazz. And honestly, when she was on the main roster in WWE, I kind of was very indifferent about her. I didn't think she was terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But not the best either. Like, she never really wowed me per se, and so that was before.
So I think the only thing, like I've said and I've stated, I like when she debuted. I'm gonna tell you what it was like for me. And when she debuted, it was right around when she
on AEW or on WWE.
WWE
main roster. You're talking about
main roster. When did she?
She was in line with the others.
Say it
she
again?
was with Team Bad with Naomi and Tamina.
When did she come up? That's my point. 2000.
Oh, it was 2014, I want to say.
Okay,
Or
so
14 to 16, I'd say.
2014,
Somewhere there.
2014, I was
15.
still in the fucking military. So I was watching WWE, but I was not full on NXT. I didn't know anything about NXT.
I was huge into NXT,
I
which is
think-
why I had respect for her.
Right, but when she debuted, I looked at her and I'm like, oh fucking Christ, they're
I
going
think
full fucking Instagram, Twitter with this fucking woman.
I think that what if anything else that her contributions to the business and whatnot, and again,
What
great success and all that stuff.
What
I'm trying to get there. So what I was saying was she doesn't have any major contributions other than the fact it showcased that WWE could create, at least in their eyes, if nothing else, top female stars with a new development
That
program.
is 100% true.
Yep.
I agree
So
with you
that-
100% because it wasn't
that
just
is-
her, but there was a couple others. But
Oh no,
I
it was
agree with
it was the whole four horsewomen for the most part.
because they let them wrestle.
What?
They let them wrestle, and they had a training
Mhm.
program where they were, and then
Yeah,
that
that
all
was-
went out the window very soon.
So that was the biggest contribution that she had was like, hey, this developmental NXT thing that's going on. We're not just doing the guys. It's the girls are gonna get over too. So honestly, everything after that, I'm just kind of like, yeah, her going to AEW is a kind of cool concept. I think it's blown wildly out of proportion, and whether or not that's like part of the whole heel gimmick or not remains to be seen. But just honestly, I don't give a shit. And honestly, that interview that she did about her fucking divorce just made me did not like her as an
that was even
individual or a
worse.
person.
Yeah, that was so fake.
as a person, I already fucking hated her.
So
Yeah.
okay, so I'm with Connor to an extent. Like I watched the NXT stint. I actually liked all the women involved in that. I liked Becky, Bailey, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks at the time.
Truth be told, Bailey was my favorite.
Well,
I mean, I like the fact that they didn't. This is the first
I haven't
time.
seen any of it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of that.
So I had just gotten back into wrestling,
Yeah,
and it was because of NXT. And NXT was fucking fire for a couple years,
Yeah.
right? Then I love the fact that the women were just wrestling. I'm like, man, if they can do this on the main roster, it's great. I just want to see good wrestling. I don't give a shit, women, men. And if they can do it, then great, put them in Starlight. Then there was this weird like faltering of that, and they moved these women up to the main roster. I'm gonna say Sasha Banks. She was one-dimensional, and the problem I have with Sasha Banks is somewhat the problem I have with Bailey, except I respect Bailey, is the fact that she couldn't evolve.
Yeah.
She couldn't evolve in ring, and she couldn't evolve
Yep.
on the mic. They tried to do other things with her, and it failed. Yet she had such a huge internet following because people wanted to drink her bathwater. I'm going to tell you right now, Sasha Banks on Twitter is way more popular than she is on TV.
And that the ratings really show that. So
Yeah.
I guess you could call me a casual fan because wasn't paying attention to NXT when she came up. When she came up, my actual introduction to NXT was Paige. But I still didn't watch NXT because I didn't know about any of these.
I missed
people.
the Page time,
And then,
to be honest.
so I didn't see. That's the point I'm getting to. I didn't see any of the links at all between them. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Why in the fuck are they having her with this Naomi and fucking Tamina? And then they've got fucking Becky Lynch and Charlotte with Paige. I'm like, I already know who the two bigger stars you're gonna be. The fuck is Sasha Banks? Sasha Banks actually trying to make. That's what they tried doing. They said they were trying to tell. This is Vince. He's like trying because apparently he must have. Oh, she's gonna be a big influencer. Let's put her. She's got to build her own faction. Let's put her.
I think Vince more looked at the fact that she was a woman of color.
Yep.
That he could use, not so much an influence.
That had a lot to do, especially that character.
Because they changed her character pretty quick when she hit that main roster, and it just plummeted.
But then I knew she was the gimmick that they did with her is like, I'm the boss, and I'm like, but I looked at Sasha and didn't see it.
So Sasha Banks is the epitome of like you peaked in high school type idea. because she peaked real quick and she was over
Charlotte
so
and
quick.
Becky Lynch were still evolving. They really
Yeah.
did a good job with both Charlotte and Becky Lynch, but they really tried shoving Sasha Banks down her throat.
I think the moment I stopped liking Sasha Banks is when I realized she's kind of like in ring. She's Dakota Kai, and she's never gotten better than that. Like she can't get beyond it, and then she started getting injured, and then she started just fucking not being around, and then you had the whole fucking shit with her giving up the belt and throwing the belt or whatever, like she leaving, stopping out on live television.
Well, they made that where this conversation is going. Britt Baker actually came on TV, cut a promo, and said, "Everywhere you go, you just if you leave,
you don't get your way, you take your ball and go home.
You take your ball and go home."
The thing I saw
don't
with
like
her,
AEW anymore.
That's right.
That was
that whole fucking, and I said this is exactly where they're. I'm waiting for it. They're gonna bring up the fact that she was in WWE.
They're going down.
They're stupid.
Connor's just like, fuck that fucking place.
No, dude, I'm dead serious.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like, you have no idea like how badly I've like my okay brain is still sometimes in effect where it's like gotta be nice and say no, fuck it, man. I think like I love the idea that there's an alternative to WWE on a bigger platform and has a huge stage and they have tremendous success and all that stuff. I don't want it to go down, but man, there's just a lot of shit signs that are just pointing them in the direction that they should not be going. And
it's just hit after hit of badness.
Unless something major happens to really get them a turnaround, dude, I don't.
The only way to save AEW is to get rid of Tony Khan.
Yes,
it's not
ain't gonna happen. That's why I said they're like a planet circling a black hole. They just can't seem to get out of the way, and it's weird. Like the amount of wrestlers that, and it's because he's like money that he's sucked these people in. Like
hey, money.
He's given money. That's the he's dangling. It's like, oh, WWE would give you 500,000. I'll give you 3 million. Just come here so you can sit on a desk.
This formula is not going to work long term. That's why, if you notice, to piggyback off of this conversation, there's a couple of people, two in particular, that I've heard that if as soon as they're done with the AEW, they're jumping over to WWE. Which, if it's the case, I would be very, very, very fucking ecstatic to see the fucking Lucha Bros over in WWE.
I'd love them in NXT on the main roster. It's only time will tell. I like them as wrestlers. I do feel like it's going to be a transit. If they don't go to NXT, it's a huge mistake. They need to learn what is expected of them on the WWE front, because you can't just be silent fucking fighters and get over. We've seen it a million times. Guys in luchador masks that do nothing.
I have heard Phoenix speak. I haven't heard Penta speak.
All I've heard is if the rumors are true, if we get them and the Motor City Machine Guns, man, tag team wrestling is gonna be fucking on fire.
And they are building up the tag team.
The Motor City Machine Guns are ever gonna leave TNA.
Their contracts are up, I think.
Well, they are. You might see them in NXT, but I don't think you'll see that.
Daniel Garcia is also looking to come to WWE.
All I have to say with AEW and anybody
that says that they're not looking to come to WWE, like the Daniel Garcias and the Wheeler Yutas, come on, man.
What was the other one? There's one other one. Is it Starks?
I mean,
Ricky Starks. To
an extent, I would like WWE just to be like, no.
Yeah,
because you can't just keep adding people and expect to do anything with them. Like,
I'm gonna say this because I watch NXT Weekly now, which is Adam Page. Not Adam Page. Ethan Page. Ethan Page.
There we go.
Is on NXT. He has already been booked way fucking better than AEW has ever booked him.
I just don't understand.
I get it. But if you look at Ethan Page now as compared to what he was in AEW,
he was a henchman. So fucking head heel guy was a fucking henchman in AEW.
So literally, 5 years ago. The whole reason everybody was fucking leaving WWE is because they didn't get any fucking time. They didn't get showcased. They went to AEW. What the fuck is happening there now? They don't get showcased. They don't get used.
You know what's happening, right? As much as people don't want to make this comparison, it's the Monday Night Wars all over again. Because what happened originally? All the big names went from.
Yep.
And all the young talent that weren't getting featured.
It's just
now...
like it's not the same because they didn't get the equivalency of big names. I think.
Oh no, I know.
Wars, but you know what I mean. Like you're right.
Yes.
It is very similar.
So yes, but so AEW, it's going to be in reverse. So AEW is WWE created stars back in before the wars. AEW is actually going to create some stars, just not know what to fucking do with them. WWE is going to do it way better. The end result is going to come out the same.
They made one star so far.
Well, they made Cody Rhodes and he left.
It's going to be in reverse, which I think is just shows that WWE.
I honestly, the things I see online, and they have, of course, they have a partnership with NJPW, and they have to fucking lube that up. So they have Swerve Strickland, their fucking world champion, fighting the bulldog guy from I can't remember his name from New Japan. Yeah, Ishii. And it's just like all New Japan is giving you is people nobody fucking cares about that aren't in Japan.
Old-timers, yeah.
So AEW,
yeah, it's terrible. It's a fucking shit fest that just has too much money. It's WCW when it failed.
So AEW is essentially hiring like Sasha Banks because they think she's an influencer.
Well, no, they think she's a draw because there is a draw to her, but you gotta do something.
All the fans, it's because of all the fans that she has online.
You stop saying they. It's one person, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's TK. Donkey Kong.
No,
it's definitely Tony Khan. But okay, to get back to Sasha Banks, I want to talk about the fact that the last 3 things I've seen from her online, she's become the queen of cringe.
Yes.
Like, it's unwatchable. She showed, just because of the exposure.
For years. Go ahead.
WWE had her cringe on a leash. So yes, she was cringy.
Oh no!
But now
the problem is
worse.
in WWE, she'd cry after every match for some fucking reason.
You know why that is? She's allowed to do whatever she's allowed to do whatever the fuck she wants.
Okay, so you guys, we all watched that thing where she's got caterpillars for eyes. Like, it's so bad. She looks like RuPaul. First of all, I don't know. Sasha Banks is not an ugly woman, but my God, did they do everything wrong with her?
It's like she needs a personal wardrobe.
They turned her into a transgender. Well, transvest. No, I don't want to say any of these things.
Yeah, I know.
A drag queen. She's a woman that's a drag queen somehow. And when she was doing the thing, she's talking about being like the best. I'm the best ever. I get what I want, whatever. And her fucking necklace is in reverse. They couldn't even get her fucking necklace. It said Enom.
You're talking about she used to be taller than Camille.
Well, I'm going to link everybody in the chat.
Like, to not even get your fucking necklace on correct before you start the stream, if it's going to be like you being, I'm more attractive, I'm a celebrity, I'm the greatest thing known to mankind, and it was just so bad. So bad. This is where people are like, well, she's just a heel and she's getting heel heat. I'm like, this is bad heat, man. If she can transition it into what Dominic Mysterio did, then she's got a couple years run, and that's it. But I don't think AEW has the ability to book a Dominic Mysterio type heel run.
I'll be honest. I thought that she would go back to WWE because of the timing of everything.
With Triple H taking over and everything.
Yeah, and
I think she wanted more money than they were willing to pay.
There is the link if you want. Let's keep in mind that just Jeremy Hayo, who both Heather and I follow, shout out to you. Just want to throw that out.
I'm not going to show it because we'll probably get banned from the world.
No, you don't have to. I put it in the chat. So his link is there. You can go ahead and go to it, and you'll see what we're talking about. Sasha Banks looks like RuPaul.
Yeah. She somehow looks more manly and more like a drag queen. It's just too much.
And Alpha,
I don't understand.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to. No, you need to go watch the fucking video so you can understand what.
Well, I'll give you some.
He's
They
just
give you some.
on Twitter anymore.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ah,
So she was okay. She
yeah,
did
you
like
can still see it though.
she basically did a fucking
You can get Twitter online,
selfie FaceTime with herself. She took a video of herself dressed in drag, but she wasn't supposed to be dressed in drag. But it just looks like she is.
Yeah, but then
I tried to find like gifs of it. I just couldn't. But
what she says
is so bad.
Is what I have a problem with.
I'm the best. I'm the greatest there ever was. I'm the CEO. She quotes other wrestlers all the time.
So the whole story is she has Camille. Camille debuted 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
I don't know.
Sounds like an STD.
On AEW Dynamite, and she's a good sized woman.
She's
if
got
you
Kamala.
See her in NWA, she's.
If you've got Kamala,
Jade, she is Jade Cargill level athlete.
I don't really give a shit. Like stature is one thing if you can wrestle. I know she can. Camille.
But my point is, and I don't give a fuck if she can wrestle or not. You're bringing somebody on that looks like they could destroy people.
Well, this is their idea. They're going to bring her on to eventually turn on Sasha Banks, and that's the story.
But Sasha Banks actually jumps on fucking line and says, everybody's all worried about my heels. There's a reason why, you indignant twit. You're 5'3". She's 5'9", maybe 5'10". You're making her look fucking the same fucking size you are.
No.
If you're gonna be a heel leader and be small, you need to actually emit being small, especially if you're gonna get somebody over, like Camille.
The one thing I want to say,
them, what the fuck are they doing?
The one thing I want to say before we move on, and I think Connor, you're in the same boat as me, and I'm pretty sure it was in the same interview that talked about her divorce, was that WWE didn't want her to do The Mandalorian. And that was a huge thing for her, not being able to do The Mandalorian and act in it. Or it might have been a different interview that I saw. And like that's one of the reasons that she was like done with WWE. In my mind, I'm thinking back to when that shit aired. I'm like, so you can go and act in a TV show for fucking 10 minutes, but you can't show up on TV ever?
But the problem...
For us, that's employing you and paying you?
Yeah.
But the problem is WWE promoted it.
Well, I
so
think
why would WWE have a problem?
I think once, like, I think she had to fight to get allowance to do it, and then once they allowed her to do it, they're like, we're going to be behind it because, well, Vince McMahon is that kind of guy anyway. It's like if it's gonna happen, I'm gonna fucking promote it because I'm gonna make money off everything. But
well, yeah, they might have disagreed with it, and this is probably an argument.
I think it's just because she was never around. She was not fulfilling her duty as an employee.
I understand, but I would agree that Vince would be like, "Well, we're going to get the most out of you.
Or something out of you.
If you don't do this, that was the beginning." But then Vince saw dollar signs. This is what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
You also have to remember one of the last times that he let a current wrestler be on a show, especially a woman, was Lita, and it was during the Buffy episode where she broke her neck.
But the problem is, why would WWE? It's like, oh, she's making me dollars. I don't.
Well, I mean, if it was me and I ran a business,
why is she bitching about? If that's a reason, she's a big time.
Well, it was in an interview I saw. I don't know if it was the same as the other interview with her divorce or whatever, but her divorce thing was like she is probably a monster as a human being because she's so fucking fake in that. I'm like, oh my god.
At the very least, it makes her look
bad,
heartless. Like at the very least, it makes her look heartless.
Well, she is heartless.
But if my employee isn't showing up for work and is like, well, I got a gig on fucking Family Matters, can you promote that? And it's like, so, where are you, man?
Do you want to know what I get from Sasha Banks? She looks like the girl that wants to be a part of the Real Lives of fucking whatever fucking city comes up next.
I think her popularity
and the
killed
Kardashians.
her.
And the Kardashians. That's what
I think what she did in NXT has gone to her head too.
Well, I think she's like super egotistical, and I honestly think her popularity was a detriment to her.
Have you watched
she never got
sessions with her?
I've seen clips.
She says the exact opposite. She goes, "I'm only here to make the money."
Well, I think
She says that at one
she's
point in
always
that
in that character that at some point in time is just nobody gives a shit.
But I
Being
think her
around
being that character is an actual. That's who she actually is what you're seeing on TV.
I don't know. That's terrible. I can't stand her. And honestly, her acquisition, the acquisition of her from AEW, if it happened before she went to New Japan, it would have been bigger. At this point in time, they're gonna let her play out the death of her career.
I liken Sasha Banks to Ric Flair in that Ric Flair portrayed that character and essentially became that character.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha Banks is a female.
But I mean,
version
Sasha Banks also fucking cries after every match. So is she that character? I don't know. I mean,
no, not that. Not saying that character. I'm saying that female of Ric Flair that they somehow get behind. I'm just saying what
I don't like. I mean, I would like Ric Flair.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either.
Ric Flair's a fucking master at representing a character. Sasha
But
Banks is a fucking
that's my point.
garbage fest.
I'm talking about portraying the character.
Now, to be honest with you, if this year or next year she shows up in the Rumble, people will pop. Because if you know WWE, they always forgive and forget. But right now, it ain't good. Looks bad. I hate her.
No,
don't want to talk about her anymore. So we will move on from.
But okay.
Well, I mean, God, it's 1:17. How long do you want to talk about Mercedes Moné?
I just wanted to say when I said
that's a stupid question.
they're not the same character. It's the character that they portray. That's all I'm
and
saying.
I agree with you. They're similar characters, but one lived it, and the other one is playing it when the cameras are on.
Yeah.
Poorly, by the way.
Very poorly.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I'm saying. I think what you get with Sasha Banks is what she is in real life. That's my point. That's all I
mean, I don't think so, honestly. Because she's probably egotistical in real life, and that's been built up in her head. But if she's like her character in real life, then I don't know how anybody could be around her ever. She is so fucking awkward and cringy at trying to be the CEO. It's like she's trying to wear a suit that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I get you. My point is, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people.
I love her. She's my favorite. I want to drink her bathwater.
You can move on from. I just wanted to point out that one thing.
All right, we'll move her aside. All right. There's a couple more things here. Heather, I'm going to pass this over to you as you posted this. This fucking super intelligence, Brandon Evid.
This guy's my fucking hero.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the new winner soon-to-be winner of the Darwin Award as he cuts his throat with a goddamn envelope because he doesn't know how to fucking send a goddamn letter.
Listen, I think this needs to be a yearly thing.
I weep for the future.
I know it. So the thing is, the future. I weep for the present. I don't know how this guy does not look young.
The No Bucks. This is what the award should be. The No Bucks Given Dumbass of the Year award goes to
Heather. Lay it out for us.
Yeah, this guy tweeted out and kept it up on his wall to reach well over millions of views.
Can't imagine why.
Fucking Christ.
No, you can say his fucking name. It's on the fucking video.
I can't read
see
it. Yeah.
His name is Brandon Evedican.
Bathed Ekian.
That's his at.
So, and that would be Brandon Avdikian.
Yeah, Basement said it already, so.
So sorry.
He had a thought of a shitty day and just had to tweet it out for everybody. A client accidentally double paid a $15K invoice recently. I called to let them know and said I would shred the check. They asked me to please mail the check back to them. I had to use ChatGPT to learn where to buy a stamp.
Or you could use Google if you're a fucking moron.
I went to Walgreens and they made me buy 20. I used one and threw the other 19 away.
I think that's the part that pisses me off the most. But go ahead.
I hate all of
then
it.
had to figure out how to get the envelope in the mail. I asked the property manager of our office of what to do, and she took care of it for me. Not knowing how to send mail is a huge competitive advantage. Advantage. I'm going to say that word again.
Sure
For
is.
people in the back who didn't quite hear me. Advantage.
So could you say that a little slower?
This motherfucker, and if you go to his profile and look at his picture, this motherfucker has to be at the very least 30 years old. He's never fucking mailed a letter.
Even
And
if
then
you,
in the comments, he's sitting there blaming the post office for this because it is such an antiquated system and it's forcing me to be the only company left that accepts checks.
I think this guy is fucking retarded.
It's gotta be a troll. It has to be a troll.
It's either that or he is fucking cracked out on meth, and this was a hallucination for
It
him.
was a hallucination.
He was a hallucinist.
So my mother. So backstory on this. There's a story behind this for today. Because Heather, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Did I tell you?"
Yes, no. I shared it. You read it. You read it out, and
Oh, I said you need to put this shit on this fucking show. And my mother, I said, "I'm gonna read this to you, Mom." I'm gonna give you her response. So I'm reading it to her, and I look up at her, and she's doing this. You tell me one more fucking thing, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Like, literally, that's... She's giving me
Merry
the...
Christmas, Mom.
She did... Remember the eyes that I told you about at the beginning about Wendy? She gave me those eyes. And I've looked... I kept...
Talking about this, my love. No,
And I finished the conversation, and she looked up at me, and I'm paraphrasing, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I mean, this
I'm
is
like,
why.
you know what I wanted to say to my mom? These are the people that support Kamala Harris.
Well, okay, so
just like her.
the way I look at
My
this,
mom is a staunch Democrat. Like she's like, Kamala Harris can check my bowels anytime.
yeah, she's
That's-
black.
I'm
She's
just being a
Indian.
smart ass. I'm
She's
being a smart ass.
Cherokee. She's a woman. And it's like, okay, so now you're hiring by checking boxes.
Well,
Yeah.
this isn't even. But this is
But,
what
okay, so like,
my
okay,
mother was.
so I'm kind
Hold
of
on.
I'm kind of with Connor though. Do you think
What?
this is this either engagement farming or is it
Yeah.
a troll?
You think it is? I love the
Could
reason.
be,
I think it's
but
both.
I don't know. He kind of tries to defend himself in the actual fucking feed, so I don't know.
I mean, it is an advantage.
Also, the last thing he says makes absolutely no sense.
Right,
Not
that's my
knowing how to
point.
send mail is a huge competitive advantage.
Yeah, because you don't have to spend money on postage.
No, knowing
If you
how to
read-
send
if
mail.
you read, I went to Walgreens and they made me buy 20. I used
there's-
one and threw 19 away.
There's no
He's
way.
being a dumbass
Yeah.
backwards.
There's no way this guy. If you're this stupid, you should just kill yourself. That's my recommendation. It's like
Wasn't gonna go
diagnosis.
that far.
I went to the doctor and he's like, well, prognosis
I literally
death.
think it's a joke.
It's gotta
I
be.
really think
It's
it's a joke.
gotta be. If it's not a joke, oh man, yeah, die.
Yeah.
If it's not, that shit's great. Not the person dying, because I think, I find the humor in everything.
But if he's
Hamburger-
serious, what is he gonna do for mankind?
Then
Nothing.
I get you. I 100% agree
I guess he
with
did
you.
something for somebody that
mean,
picked
he'll get
19
fired.
stamps out of the garbage.
I am hoping that this is a fucking
He'll-
joke.
He'll get fired, and then they'll have a huge advantage.
I know,
Competitive
right?
advantage.
But it's the fact also that he goes on in the comment section to fucking sit there and say that the post office is forcing him and his company to accept checks.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
shit.
no- Yeah, there's no way. This sounds like an onion piece.
Because there are so many, especially property management companies, that have moved to an automatic pay portal for their fucking rent collection.
Ta-da.
Or the
Now, I will
government,
keep
where
in
you
mind,
have to send checks.
We actually do have a
it's so
friend, our next
antiquated.
door neighbor. That's what she does. She does exactly what this fucking guy does.
I'm telling you, man, I work for the government. Most of it is based on checks.
They can't exactly. They can't get
It's
rid
so
of.
old.
No, but as a private company, they can indeed sit there and say, "Yeah, we're not accepting checks anymore."
I have seen some employers say cash only, unless we have a debit machine.
Well, it depends on how big your company is. If you kind of obliterate the.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
Okay, so the whole thing kind of goes on to being like, he's a futurist, which is just present day. Email isn't the future. That shit existed for years.
Exactly.
I only accept things digitally.
Somebody put in the comments, the first email was sent in 1971. You're not being very progressive.
Yeah, I'm leaning on the fact that this guy's a troll. I haven't looked at his account to see beyond it, but if he isn't, oh my god, just kill him. I said, just.
I'm gonna switch. I'm switching computers real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
We don't think that people should be killing other people.
Well.
I do hear what you're saying, but I don't think people should be killing other people.
I think the world would be better for some people if they.
But I don't think it should be. Okay, you just want to go full on purge here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the answer. Have you seen that fucking movie?
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with the purge per se.
Okay.
It's not just kill the rich or eat the rich. I'm just saying some people are so fucking stupid that I think they cause more problems than they solve.
Yes,
and
they do.
Them not existing.
Stupid people are the reason warning labels exist.
Yeah. Don't shove ketchup up your ass.
Oh,
I thought that's where it
was.
was.
I guess.
Don't use the curling iron up your ass.
I do every once in a while look at Heather like we get something. I says, does this have a warning label?
Don't toast your bread while you're taking a bath.
Yeah.
That was literally a thing in the 90s and early 80s.
I think people were just like, God damn, I want a toaster to kill me.
Like, I would see, like, in Friday the 13th, I think they killed somebody with a curling iron.
Well, he also fucking hung somebody upside down.
Jason killed somebody with a curling iron. And I wish Trek was here, because he would for sure fucking tell us.
Yeah, he'd be like, at,
get the fuck 3. On here, Gina. I'm not fucking with you today.
Gina's working.
Yeah?
What?
She's in the fucking chat.
Well,
she can do what she wants.
Yeah, working.
Get your honky tonk ass in here,
honky
Gina.
Tonk.
Fucking.
I mean, I don't have too much more to add to this. We have to get to the bottom of it. Maybe we never will, and it'll just disappear into the ether. But I'm okay with this guy getting killed.
I mean, if he dies, he dies, right?
Yeah, especially if
Why do you jump to such a harsh conclusion already?
You read what he said, and if it's true, I don't. I think it's literally a joke.
It's one thing if there's a person like that who exists who doesn't know how to do all those things. I can sort of buy that, but like to publicize it is the big part.
Well, the thing is, I tell people with this shit all day long, not knowing how to do things. This guy does not look old enough to not know.
Are you purging that?
Yeah. What to do when you're purginating?
Connor, are you pooping?
He changed computers, and now he sounds like the ghost of Christmas past.
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. Actually, you do sound like Bane.
But no, I think this is a joke, and I find humor in it. I find humor in it. It's not funny if it's true.
If it's true, it's fucking killing. Like I said. The next thing we have to talk about is, and I don't know too much about this, but we might as well go fucking dig deep into politics. You got good old Kamala Harris being every race and creed known to mankind.
I don't care.
She, well, there's a couple things actually. There's one where I don't know what's happening with her getting off the plane and a bunch of people cheering, which obviously is not real. Because what? And then there's the thing that Heather put in there where she just copied Donald Trump's speech or something. I don't know. Heather?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you remember? Do
Nope.
you remember?
I didn't even
That's a
hear.
good
I
fucking
didn't
song.
even hear what you were saying because
Okay, apparently Kamala Harris copied Donald Trump's speech.
yes.
Is
Do you
this
know?
real?
You all remember when Trump started his campaign? One of the first policies he said was he was going to stop taxes on tips.
You know what I did? I quit listening to him after Donald Trump. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Apparently now Kamala Harris is using the exact same words Donald Trump used to announce this policy as her own policy.
You know what it's going to come out as? You know what it's going to come out as? That Melania Trump is Kamala Harris.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so as far as American politics go, it's a train wreck.
She literally copied a speech, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. She copied a speech apparently and I've read it. So I find it funny that Kamala Harris does it.
Well, I mean, there's going to be like, how many speeches do you want these fucking people to memorize, right? I will say Kamala Harris, there's just something about her. If you've ever worked in a company that has too many middle managers, my God, this woman is the epitome of middle management. For some reason, everything's funny and everything's great. And she does fucking nothing. And it's like, yeah, it's great to make money, but you do nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, Donald Trump's a piece of shit. Right? Like, we all kind of know that. But when you're a piece of shit and you pretend to be fucking everybody's auntie, you can just fucking. Oh wait, I'm not gonna say suck a dick because she probably would. But.
She does. She likes doing that.
She would be that great aunt on Tyler Perry's Medea's, and then Medea beats the shit out of her.
She's like, oh my God, I'm going to a black neighborhood. Better get my jive on.
Wow, I didn't know that she was black like that. She called herself black.
Kamala.
Oh, the icing on the cake.
I don't agree with her
this.
policies. That's all.
But her policies are Joe Biden's. She's only been fucking running for 2 seconds ago. So if you weren't going to vote for Joe Biden, why are you voting for Kamala Harris? And if you're going to vote for Kamala Harris and you didn't like Joe Biden's policies, then you like the fact that she's black, Asian, Indian, a woman, and always cackling.
Yeah.
Her race. I could care less if she's.
I mean, if she gets the people are up in arms about DEI hires, and people are like, you know what? Let's hire a president because of DEI.
Yeah.
It's like, leave all that shit out of here. Why would you vote for her? What's the reason?
The true icing on the cake for all of this is she's the one who cast the tie-breaking vote so that the IRS could tax tips.
Well, that's because
she also put a bunch of fucking people in prison that shouldn't have been.
But that wasn't her fault. That was a constitutional thing. She agreed with the policy, which makes her a fucking nutball.
Well, when she was a district attorney, she gave them big ass fucking.
If it's a tie in the House and the Senate, the vice president is a breaking vote, or the Senate side of the House.
I think there's supposed to be like
not
some
the district and the congressional side of the House.
So if the president steps down during an election time, isn't there supposed to be somebody that's like, do we want her? Like,
well,
where's the?
I'm just that's. I agree with you.
She just slides in there and it's like, all right.
Well, okay, so you need. Well, no, because you need endorsements, and she got the endorsements. Like all 27 of the fucking governors. I wouldn't even say 27. All 22 of the governors, 23 of the governors endorsed her. Democratic. Let's keep in mind, 23 out of the 50 states. Not it's under 500 people said that they liked her.
It's kind of like, who didn't she suck off?
But right, no, you're right. But you know she's going to get the endorsement.
I think she's going to be your next president.
On the Democratic side.
And it scares the shit out of me because we will also go down with you.
Well, you're already going down because apparently you got
Justin Trudeau. Yeah, well, I'm fucked personally, but Justin Trudeau is out. We got another Frenchman. Everybody that fucking runs for prime minister is French. God damn, you know why we're fucked? There's the reason.
Yeah, French people leading the world.
We've got a conservative Frenchman taking over, probably, most likely. I don't know, man. It's
they
like
agree with the guy. Okay, so you go and see who the president of France is and whatever
my friend sent me a video of him butt fucking some guy on a fucking boat. I'm like, okay, well, here's the president of France having tongue sex with a man.
Well, you might see that in Canada soon.
Well, this guy seems like if he has sex with men, he doesn't share it with others.
Well, if that's the case, then you're going to see that.
So basically, Justin Trudeau.
That's what Canada. You're going to Justin Trudeau.
I honestly think though, like if we get the Prime Minister Pierre Poilievre's name, he's more like Trump, way more like Trump. So if Kamala Harris gets in, they're gonna have those awkward meetings where they hang out and she fucking twerks and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" She-Hulk all over again.
You imagine Kamala Harris becoming president. The first thing she does is twerks.
Well, she had people twerking at her fucking.
She's already twerked on her campaign.
No, but that's the first thing she fucking does.
Yeah, she's She-Hulk.
She shall. This woman's a fucking. I don't agree with her policies. I don't agree with all of Donald Trump's policies.
No, I don't either. Some of his are fucking stupid.
The policies thing is a huge for me.
For how good
all the policies.
For how good Donald Trump is at debating people, he is terrible at it at the same time. The guy is a retard. Like I like that. You could be like, oh, you have the ability to win everything, and he'd be like, well, let me tell you about whoever. And he just gets into this diatribe about something that doesn't matter. And it's like, all you need to do is walk forward and become president. It's like, well, hold on. I got to talk about bullshit that doesn't matter. It was given to him, and he's too stupid to take it. Either that or the assassination attempt like scared the man, which is understandable. Whereas like I'm kind of like I'm gonna run, but because you see I've seen at least a huge difference in like his media coverage and everything in his run since that. It's like not featured anywhere. He's not really he's still doing things, but it's like, I don't know.
Well, they went as far as to sit there and say that the bandage that was on his ear was fake. It's like,
well, it doesn't help the fact that he took it off.
Shot in the ear.
It doesn't help the fact that he took it off. I honestly, I don't care. If I was Donald Trump and I got shot in the ear, even if it didn't look good, I'd be like, shoot me again. Make it look fucking wild. Fuck this ear up. I'm going to become president again.
He speaks in a circle and it makes sense, Genus.
Whereas the other one, I love Venn diagrams. We all know Venn diagrams, right? You know, the big circles.
We all like working hard.
All the circles.
We all like hard work and we like working hard.
That was literally one of her fucking things that she repeated for 6 months
honestly,
on stage.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, if you're talking about speaking in circles.
Have you ever seen Billy Madison?
Well, I'm going to say she was.
Whenever Kamala talks, and she's talking about the thing about circles. So what she
is that they're circular.
Is that they're circular? And you remember that scene from Billy Madison?
You're missing
the fact. He had to talk about the business of ethics, and he goes the ethics of business. You see, the business of ethics are. So that's what I think of Kamala Harris.
So she's like, and we're hard workers and we like hard work. It's like it's fucking just like, what are you talking about? You're sitting there wearing $120,000 on your body. Hard work, bitch. You don't even know where you're from.
And if you've taken notice to any of the other speeches she's done, and she starts talking about her mother, she never once mentions that she's Indian.
Mm-hmm. She raised 2 strong black children.
She raised 2 brown-skinned children.
Gina just retracted a message I was gonna read. You're quick.
You have to be burdened.
It was funny. I would have left it. I would have copied and pasted that shit and put it on a fucking Word document.
You have to be unburdened what's been burdened in the past. And then Barack Obama shows up.
I'm just saying. Like, fuck.
It's such a shit show. It's the worst presidential election, I think. It's honestly worse than Biden, who didn't know where he was or what he was.
Yeah.
Because now you have someone that's almost the same but conscious. She doesn't know where she came from or what she is, but she can talk in circles around herself.
So instead of looking around like he's a lost puppy dog, she might just start twerking. Oh yeah, I need to do the twerk. She knows where she is, but everybody wants to look at her ass, I guess.
She should just twerk up to the stage. Whenever she goes to a place that is like majority black, just twerk up to the stage.
I know it was fucked up, but it was fucking funny. Just saying.
I wish I could see it. Say it again.
I wish she would have copied and pasted it, because it was fucking funny. I was getting ready to read it, and then she erased it. Fucker.
All right. Well, I mean, I have nothing to add to this, Connor. We're going to Connor here live. Last time I heard Connor, it sounded like he was in an internment camp.
Yeah.
They won't give me more than 15 minutes to speak. All right, all right. Moving on.
We'll go back to it.
We might. I don't know. There's only a couple more things to really talk about. These are the things I added, which are going to be fucked up for the most part.
What do you mean fucked up?
One of it has to do with South Park.
Oh well, yeah. There's this really good video I will show you about cripples. I don't know if I can show it because we might get flagged.
You'll
by
get
like
flagged.
the people that made it. But first of all, the Olympic Games have come to an end.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Tom Cruise jumped off a roof. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I saw the full video. He jumped off a roof, rode
Isn't
a motorcycle into a troop carrier, and then parachuted out of that and delivered the Olympic flag to Hollywood.
You want to talk about egotistical?
There it is.
Oh,
there
God,
it is.
yes.
Gina put it back in. I said she's like a disabled teacher of a disabled children who thinks she's retarded.
Yeah, so it's retarded teaching retarded.
Yes.
Imagine if that was
But
a thing.
those that are retarded in the class think the teacher is more retarded than they are.
Yeah.
So they're bad.
You're going to be unburdened by the fact that you were not born right.
Yeah.
We're not going to go full retard yet, but we'll get there. Well, actually, we are kind of. Olympics have ended. Isn't it like super egotistical? Isn't it super egotistical that Tom Cruise just like was like, nope, it's about me. Here I am, jumping off your fucking stadium, riding bikes and flying through into whatever. I get why they're doing it because it's going to. Where's it going in America? L.A.
LA.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, we need a big star. There's also like a stuntman for no reason in the fact that he wants to be a stuntman. So that was kind of fucked up. Overall, the Olympics, I watched some things of it. Most of it was terrible.
It was boring. A lot of it was boring. America brought home 196 medals in total. So.
Oh, Canada brought home 27.
No, last time I saw was 96 for them.
Well, 27 gold, maybe. I don't know.
27 gold. Okay, so this is
Canada,
one thing.
baby. We're the best.
So this is one thing I wanted to focus on with the Olympics. And I know why they can't do it because everybody would blame America. Let's go to war with them. Whatever.
Anyway.
It's about there was a big discussion during the Olympics about the amount of golds won, which decides who is the best country, apparently.
At stupid, weird
but
sports. You're the best
in,
country at jumping long distances.
But well, that's individualized. But my point is, there is more than just a gold. There is a bronze and a silver. And I am all for competition because that's what sport is, correct? I'm being serious. I'm not shitting on
I just like playing.
So I think competition is great and keeping score of competition is okay. But the Olympics don't know how to do it.
No.
You're dumb. You just talk about the gold. It's not always about the gold. So we are also a society of, hey, everybody wins. Not everybody wins in our society.
There's a lot of losers.
Known fact. But there are
There's
two other people, because they do a gold, a bronze, and a silver and a bronze, right?
And they do placements for everybody else.
They never put them. Yes, the United States has 196 gold, 96 medals, or whatever you said.
196 total medals.
China is the second closest with like 95.
China.
I really don't know. I didn't look at this competition, but I was keeping up with it, and I was rooting for the United States to win 41 gold medals. But I didn't think they ended up in a fucking tie. So help me fucking God, if you come back and say, oh, the United States tied with China, just because, we didn't want to offend, I'm going to have a fucking problem with how the Olympics is run. You have two other people who win medals. Use that as part of your scoring system. And if the United States comes out to be the more superior athletes, which is what they're going with, whatever.
I love how
I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to the Winter Olympics, the United States sucks.
I love how the person in fourth is just like old Yellard. They take him out back.
Yeah.
No, you will not be seen. We don't care about you.
But the good thing about some of them is they do mention them.
Oh, I think Connor's dead.
I think he is too.
I'm
gonna text him real quick.
I'm gonna mute him for the stream. Okay, so yes, unless you're Connor playing Monopoly, Monopoly. You know what? Why not Monopoly Summer Olympics? Do it. So this is where I was getting to.
Talk about...
So I'm getting to something. Just let me go. There.
Go. Bring it to
There's been a couple heroes from the Olympics, right? There was the guy with the big dick that lost because of his big dick. There was the fucking Hungarian guy that was like, I'm pretty sure he's killed people in the past, and he's won silver medal.
Turkish shooter, yeah.
Yeah, he won silver medal, and it's like, who gives a fuck about the gold? This guy is ridiculous.
That guy is just meme machine. And the breakdancer from Australia, she's all over the place.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna go here, because breakdancing was just added to the Olympics, and I'm like, so if you introduce breakdancing, where's line dancing, salsa dancing, ballroom dancing? Why just this? And it's like, well, and I bet you any money the person that pitched it was like, well, it's urban.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's just racist for saying it's black. Okay. Like,
so and I do agree with Eugene. The Jamaica bobsled team is everything. Love the Jamaica bobsled team, and that, if you don't know, you need to watch Cool Running. Cool Running's a great movie.
I'm going to show you some clips of this breakdance. And
I don't know. So my question is, breakdancing was a big thing when I was growing up.
Same.
Why is it still a thing?
Well,
and why is it now an Olympic event? What the fuck is she doing? Is she doing
this? This is part of her routine. It's part of her routine.
This is an MJF kangaroo kick.
So this is part of her routine. I will applaud this woman for getting a trip to the Olympics, even though she is terrible at breakdancing. It's like she got a paid trip to the Olympics. She got to live that Olympic lifestyle. She scored a 0.
I was just going to say, I think she is the first one in like 50 years to score an absolute 0 on purpose.
So she went from rabbit hopping to whatever the fuck this is.
The fish on the ground? Yeah.
It looks like she's trying to be, what the fuck's her name? It's killing me. Remember the laser scene in that movie? I want to say Salma Hayek, but I know it's not her.
Oh God.
She's married to Kurt Douglas, one of the Douglases.
Yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's what she looks like in like if Catherine Zeta-Jones was going to be lasered to death.
Sorry.
If Catherine Zeta-Jones was going to be lasered to death, this is the routine she would do.
Yes.
And also, why does she look like she's about to make a Subway sandwich?
That was Australia's uniform.
Australia is
Bad.
green and yellow.
Bad as a whole.
Why
Anyways,
does she look like she's gonna make us like
maybe this is how she does it. This is the buildup.
No, you got to show the other one, the fish on the ground. that
And
she's
here it
holding.
is. This is, I think, her finish. I don't know.
Yes.
Where she just looks. She did look like a dying fish. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
She tried to do the worm.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Just wait for it, my friend. Just
Don't
wait
call
for
me your friend because we are not friends. I'm kidding.
I will say that she does
What
know.
the fuck is this shit?
So I'll give her credit of knowing, like, she's done like a couple levels of introductory breakdancing.
No, actually, she has a PhD in urban dancing.
I got a PhD in my pants. She has a PhD. No, she has a PhD in cultural something with culture.
Cultural dance.
Oh, good lord.
So
this is the Olympics, guys. This is what I took from the
This looked like
Olympics.
me at the age of 12 doing breakdancing at my aunt's wedding.
Yeah. So, hey, let me show you what I can do. He just get an epileptic seizure and falls to the ground.
That's
pretty
what we
good.
did.
He's pretty good.
Like they did a whole thing with us at that fucking wedding.
There's a part just after this where she's flopping around on the floor where she just grabs her chin and still does the fish flop and then tries to get up, still holding her chin, and then pauses with that. It's like, you're not supposed to hold the chin through the entire routine, sweetie.
I mean, outside of like the people fucking destroying her online, I've got respect for this woman. Somehow she scored.
They convinced all of Australia.
Well,
what a shyster. Or she's just this is the same thing. Like the tweet earlier.
I don't think there's many people in Australia that still do breakdancing.
There's probably people there. I honestly, she's either like a shyster, just like the tweet before. She's either a fucking troll shyster, or she's joining him. Kill her. But I'm gonna go with troll shyster because she showed up in a Subway costume, and my God, she looks like she's trying to reenact the Matrix.
Yes.
In the worst way possible. Overall, the Olympics for me, like the funniest things I got in tune with, people online kind of destroy this woman, but also some people were like, you don't understand breaking. Breaking, we lift each other up. I'm like, she got a 0. Nobody lifted her up, okay? She was like, she went there and she failed. But overall, I don't know, man. The Olympics was a fucking pile of shit.
Well, we aren't done.
Well, speaking of a pile of shit in the Olympics.
Speaking of pile of shit. Good one. Good segue. Did you hear about the Olympics in the Seine River? There was 3 German swimmers that got sick. And everybody was like,
There's human poop in that river.
There's human poop in this river. And this was a running joke because they actually talked about this on Fox News. Which I think they were just making a joke.
I mean, there seems to be like a flood of people shitting everywhere.
But if you read, this is pulled from Forbes, and I was reading this article, and it
was it a shit take?
No. It was not a shit take.
Well, I'm speaking for Connor.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna go over some notes here. So. First off, this fucking... I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the article starts... The article was written by Bruce Y. Lee, senior contributor to Forbes magazine.
Shoot him.
And I'm quoting him, and he says, and this is how he opens this article. Here's an open question after the 10K kilometer open water swimming event at the Paris Olympics, which I think there was a triathlon.
Yes.
It's essentially the triathlon.
I thought people were training in the river and they got sick, right?
So with 3 of the 4 German swimmers getting sick after an event, what was the sign? What Was the Seine River still a little too polluted to hold the race? Now, apparently, they paid 1.4 billion euros. I don't know if the Olympics did or the country of France paid to have the river cleaned, and people were still. How are you going to clean a river? Here's my thing with the Olympics. I think they should every 4 years go to. This is why they're going back to LA. They're trying to get that place unpolluted. They spent 1.4 billion or 1.5 billion euros.
I mean, LA is a fucking shithole.
It is.
And I hear you, but if they're spending, then they need to, and they've gone to the LA a few times.
My problem is I don't know why it takes the Olympics to clean the fucking river. I also say there's this fucking weird thing happening nowadays where people just shit everywhere. We even had it here where the fucking Doug Ford came out and he was like, "Stop pooping on the beach." People would go and poop on Wasaga Beach and cover it up, and kids would go play, and after like digging for 2 holes, they'd find human shit. And he was like, "No, it's just it like Wasaga Beach was like people are spreading online rumors about this," and it's like, well, usually the rumor starts with an incident that's real. And no, not everybody's shitting on the beach, but there has been a lot of like public shitting events. I don't know what's going on here.
San Francisco is turning into the same route. I mean, there's food trucks out there. You go and you see fucking human shit on the ground behind it.
I'm telling you, I just came back from Wasaga Beach, and look, you know that me and JP's cycles are aligned. So,
but I will say this. I've been to the worst third world country of them all. Been to 2 of them. And I can honestly tell you, you literally see people shitting in the middle of the streets in those countries.
Well, I think the misinformation is because Canada has pretty much opened their borders to everybody. They're like, well, they're coming here and shitting all over the place. I haven't seen it, but I can tell you the border policies here are a problem. Not for shitting in the streets, but for other reasons.
There has also been some reporting of E. coli and enterococci levels measured from samples of the Seine water being within acceptable levels before and throughout most of the games. So they would test the water to make sure you can swim in it. However,
if your system is just a little weakened from stress, which that's what the Olympics does to the body and athletes.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and say that any of our rivers here are that fucking clean.
No, they're probably dirty as shit, and anybody that went in them would shit their pants. If I went to Lake Ontario, I'd probably grow an extra dick.
Probably.
Like I would never. And I had sometimes I get people ask me, it's like, oh, is this safe to swim in? I'm like, if you have to ask.
Yeah.
Then you probably shouldn't swim in it.
Right. But that was something that it was brought up on. I heard of something like NBC mentioned it. They didn't, and because that's where the Olympics were for us, is on NBC, but they didn't dwell on it too much. So I don't know if it was one of those.
They're gonna be like hush hush. Like anything in the Olympics that was bad press, they immediately went the other way with.
I think actually that should be investigated. If that's
I mean, it's the same thing as the fucking woman with XY chromosomes beating up other women. It's like you don't realize. It's like, yes, you want to believe that she's a woman and she won, and the things I've seen online. It's like through adversity, she came out even when online situations were attacking her. I'm like, just do a test. That's all you need to do. Do a test, and people would shut the fuck up.
But they did.
Yeah, but
she would get low levels of estrogen. I guess.
Yeah, which is
testosterone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which doesn't matter because people are different. But if you get somebody that is genetically more male than female, they probably shouldn't be participating in female sports. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's true or not, but all you needed to do was do a test, and nobody would harass this person. That's all you need to do. That's all people wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did. And
they did.
Well, I mean, all I've seen was discounting that result because it didn't happen, then it did. There's so much misinformation online that I don't know what's real and what's not. But the Olympics, as an entity, that's being shown worldwide should do a test and post the results of the test. And people are like, oh, they're outing her as half man, half amazing. Well, that's what she is. Like, I'm like, if somebody, like, the last thing I'd want if I had a kid and she trained to be in boxing and she got her fucking ass beat to shit by someone that was half man, I'd be like, oh, this isn't fair. That's just it. Not. And I'm not, like, trying to take away from this woman's accomplishment if she is a woman. Just do a test. It should be what you should do. Elevated testosterone doesn't normally happen in women unless you're substance abusing or you are genetically different.
Correct.
Then again, like, I mean,
they didn't do testosterone testing. They did chromosome testing, and they
did both, I think.
Yeah.
The Olympics didn't.
The Olympics committee said that she had less of the XY chromosome in her than what was required to be considered male.
I mean, you either do or you don't.
Hold on. What is considered? XX is a male, right?
XX is a woman. XY is a man.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
No.
So essentially, they're trying to change genetics.
Yes.
Well, they're just trying to, like, pivot it so she was born. I don't know if she's born physically a woman or not. Whatever.
From pictures,
no, she was born a male.
No. She was raised as a woman.
She was born a woman. She just, her body and the chromosomes are intergender.
Yeah, and she was raised as a woman, but this is the point where a lot of people, like, hinge on. I'm like, that means jack fucking shit. If Brock Lesnar was raised as a woman, you'd still be like, I don't know about this bitch.
So it's okay.
It's an actual genetic disorder.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the weird. Okay. So the honest to God's truth, when I look at it from like,
confused.
When I am confused. When I look at it
why
from,
are we shitting on this person if she is? So my thing is, and I know you're probably gonna be like, JP, shut the fuck up. My thing is, if she actually is a girl but has this,
which also alters her body.
And that's fine, but then I can understand her having to stay below the levels, and she's trying to. She has to take medication to do as such. As long as that isn't illegal medication, I don't care.
Well, I mean, I think any medication would be, to me, that alters that should be illegal. Personally,
but if she actually is a female, and the only way she can't get any stronger than what she is. How do I explain this?
I mean, for me, I'm not like totally. I'm not gonna hate on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, feel like there are genetic things that change people. Nobody is the same.
But if she was born as a woman, I would not have a problem with it because she just has a condition that she can't control. She has to take medication.
So even if so I don't think there's any mention of her taking medication for anything. No, she has a high level of testosterone for women that don't normally produce that level. It's akin to someone on steroids.
Yes.
Right, and that's where the argument I think comes in. It's like natural.
Keep in mind, we do have natural steroids in our body.
Yeah, and she's just like she was basically she was kind of like in terms of boxing, she was blessed with that in terms of physical sport. But then you also have to be like, well, you're not going to put Brock Lesnar in a match with
Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, and actually have them fight each other. Yeah. So, like, there's a natural advantage, but is it because of, like, a birth defect, I guess? I don't know. It's a weird one, and I would need to know a lot more in order to pass judgment. I do think the world got up in arms about this way too fast, but at the same time...
And because of the situation and what's already happened, we're never going to know the full story behind it.
I would say this is very similar to, like, Brittany Griner, where she presents as a man, she speaks like a man, she's got the body of a man.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah, she's playing in the women's league. It's kind of in the same element.
Apparently her and Kevin Durant, I think it is, are together.
Who cares?
I don't give a shit. Kevin Durant. She's that's perfect then, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a career fucking idiot. The guy's got all the skill in the world, but he joins teams to win championships and loses.
Yeah.
It's because because I don't know. But
I got one more thing to talk about. I have to piss like a racehorse. So
did we talk about the one thing that I really wanted to talk about?
What was it?
It was the one thing at the beginning before we. I can't remember. It's like I need to find one more. I can't remember what it is. And I'm like,
the teenager. Yeah, I think he's about to bring that up.
Okay.
Before he goes. No, I don't know anything about teenager. I don't have a visual for it because I added it last minute. But you guys go ahead and talk about it for a second, Black Pete.
The autistic teen that.
Oh yeah. This motherfucker.
Anyway, for those who don't know the story, a teenager with autism was in school, and one of the teacher assistants or one of the teacher assistant directors.
He was a teacher.
He took away his Nintendo Switch because, as everybody knows the fucking rules, you're not allowed to have a Nintendo or any kind of gaming console in school. So he took the rational decision and decided to beat the ever-loving piss out of this fucking woman. Mind you, she was 51 at the time of the incident, and maybe 130 pounds at 5'6".
Okay.
This teenager is 6'6" and over 200 pounds. You can imagine how that fight went.
But the problem isn't okay. So the question isn't. So you know the backstory.
I'm telling the video as it was released. Turns out this child is autistic, but then people started bitching and moaning that there's an autistic kid being sent to jail. Well, he needs to be held accountable for his actions.
That's not where I was going to go with it, but I have like Espen or something. Okay. I'm trying to find the video. Not. So I've responded to this conversation, and in a way that I do, and it isn't a smart-ass way. This is literally asking a question just so people can understand. This is what I'm talking about when we pass judgment on somebody for throwing an autistic child in prison. Before we go any further, on what level or the spectrum is he at? Because there are some autistic children that, and you'll see where I'm going with this, they know the difference between right and wrong. They can decipher, hey, I shouldn't do this, so I'm not going to. My problem with it is people getting on there and saying, oh, you should never throw anybody, no matter what the spectrum of autism is, you should never throw them in jail. Shut the fuck up. Because, and I did literally like civilly say, before we start passing judgment, I'm sure they did testing on him as to whether or not he is clinically sane.
They have to.
They have to. And they found that he was liable to stand fucking trial. Now, is the justice system fucked up? Sure it is. Again, with our society today, this would not even be a thing. Because people don't like these things.
Well, the problem is, and I wonder if, like, yes, he was found guilty of assaulting her and he's going to spend time. Where he spends time should be a place that can help or deal with someone with autism. He's not going to fucking federal fuck me in the ass prison.
Well, again, it depends on what spectrum.
They've only gotten the sentence right now. They have not said where they're going to send it.
So one thing people have to realize, regardless of your mental disability, whatever you're facing, if you are a threat to the public, that means the
Well, he has. They have said that he has been sentenced to prison. He hasn't been sentenced to a hospital where he's going to
He
get the
will
help.
probably, if he's actually on the spectrum, he will go to a hospital
But
that is
the
not
whole
federal fuck me in the ass prison.
I agree with you, but it all depends on how far on the spectrum he is.
Yeah. And that's 100%
But
okay.
I agree with the fact that if he knew the difference between right and wrong and what would happen to him if he did do these things, where he would end up, then he needs to go to prison.
I mean, I saw the video.
They can give him the help they can give him the help in said prison, but they're going to treat him like a prisoner.
Well, the thing is, he curb stomped her pretty hard, and it's the I don't care what mentally is wrong with you. If you're part of the few and your needs outweigh the many, Star Trek that bitch. It can't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. We all have to live with people like this, right? If you're a danger to society,
you need to go away for a while.
be rehabbed, put away, imprisoned. We can't okay, just because he has autism and he's a young kid, but he's also 6 foot tall. Like, he's big for his age, right? And so he can fucking obliterate people. Imagine he just comes after someone that's a fucking baby and just obliterates them. It's like, oh well, he has autism. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, no,
that's
it's not,
on your ass then.
There's no excuse.
Your ass needs to go to jail.
You have to draw a line somewhere, and I feel like yes, he's struggling with a mental illness. You can find help for him or put him somewhere where he belongs. In a public school system is not it. That's just it. He is too dangerous to be in public.
Yes.
That's it. I saw pictures of it. I tried to save them, but they won't load up on fucking OBS. All it looks like is Seth Rollins giving a curb stomp to a teacher. Yes. Seth Rollins was black.
He beat this woman up so badly. She's lost 30% of her eyesight and is dealing with permanent tinnitus now in her ears.
And she pushed for his prison sentence. And if she was his teacher, she would have known what he was like and what he was capable of, right? It's not just for me, if somebody attacks me and I'm actually helping them and they don't know where they are or what they're doing, there's that thing where you're going to be like, well, they didn't know what they were doing. At the moment, right? It was just an uncomfortable situation for them. They were lost. They didn't feel comfortable and they lashed out. It happens all the time in healthcare, all the time. But if this person literally was either in a place where he shouldn't have been, because I don't know about you, man, but some fucking parents just they refuse to believe that their kid is not the same as every other kid, and they'll put them in school, and it's like, good Lord, now you're endangering other people.
And get this, his mother is sitting there saying, he's only going to prison because he's black.
Yep.
Well, he's black, that's for sure, but he is going to prison.
Yes.
He's not going to prison. Okay, he's only going to prison because he's black, not because he curb stomped a woman. It's let's throw that out.
Mother of the fucking year, people. Mother of the fucking year.
I'm so tired of the race card and people arguing about race. It's way too fucking much now. It's everybody is different, but everybody's similar to an extent. Just stop. Not everything is about race. And if you think that way, you should die. Join the other ones. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it. It's everywhere all the time. And I'm I get making jokes at the expense, stereotypical jokes that people would say, oh, racism. I'm yeah, if you can't laugh at them, then fuck you too. Go in the death pool. But we all make fun of each other, okay? As long as it's in good-heartedness and people can laugh at it, then it's fine. And people are gonna be like, well, some people won't laugh. Well, then they die too. If you have such a fucking stick up your ass that you can't laugh at what we did throughout history, and you can't find common ground because people can call each other what they want and do what they want, you're part of the problem. Because you're trying to, and this is the other thing that we were talking about and we were going to get to, is the aspect of, there is a war going on with free speech. Nobody wants to fucking talk about it. But you brought up, Heather, what was the thing with free speech? Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, the actor Rowan Atkinson actually stood up at a press conference that also involved Parliament, and gave
When
a
was
speech.
this? Was this recent or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very recent, and gave a speech about how threatened he feels freedom of speech is because the UK has now launched a law saying that if you think a racist thought and post it to the internet, you can be arrested.
Yeah, it's becoming Minority Report. You're arrested before you do a crime, or even it's not even a crime. And the UK is like forefronted this. Canada's like this too, right? So if you do something that is against like what's acceptable, you are tried and you might get a fine or go to prison. It's wild because this should never happen. And I saw this thing online, right, with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like talking about you fought the resistance with Star Wars, you fought the resistance with this, and the first thing I see underneath that is like, oh, it's funny, the billionaire thinks he's the resistance. I'm like, I don't really care for Elon Musk. I think he's a weird kind of guy, honestly. But
Uh-huh.
the one thing I have to appreciate is a place where people can just say what they want. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh no, he's hiding these tweets, he's hiding that tweets. I'm like, did you not like this is if he's hiding your tweets and they're for okay, if it is true, no, if it is true that Elon Musk is hiding tweets and it's because they're the other side of the political coin, welcome to what everybody on the other side has dealt with for fucking 10 years.
For 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, like it's been ridiculous, man.
But I think this guy is literally saying if you commit a crime against an English person.
No, not even that. If you just post something on the internet.
And it's something he's warning the entire world.
Well, he showed proof of people going to jail because of it.
Yeah. Well, and I understand that, but he's threatening to throw. I think that's where he's actually going. That's how liberal fucking England is. They're literally throwing, if you do this, we're going to have you thrown in jail.
The thing that blows my mind is as soon as the mass populace agrees with the government, we're fucked.
Yes.
They've always been, yes, they're trying to do something right, but they're so fucking corrupt. Honestly, like you can't trust the government. And I mean, even Elon Musk says, "Oh, UK, they took away the guns, and now look, they're."
It's not Europe, man. This is where yes, it happens.
It's Canada as well. We don't have guns, and now people can go to jail for thought crimes.
Or tweets.
Like what the fuck?
I can honestly tell you, I have been to Europe, and it's fun.
Europe is great. The people are great.
Yeah,
they're all cool.
The people are great. It's the government that's shit.
Always. Everywhere. Anywhere you go, the government can be absolute fucking shit.
I will stress this very heavily because if you, as an individual, go there, you probably won't experience any of this. But the reason it's so important is because you have to stop it where it starts. Yes. I had this conversation a long time ago with other people about like identity and where it's going to go and what problems it might cause if people can't decide what they are, who they are, and what changes and the cost might be associated. People just don't want to have that conversation. They want to have the conversation. It's like, well, I think they should live their truth. It's like, yeah, they'll live their truth until they're fucking living in your backyard and you'll be like, how did this happen?
Yes.
Like that.
Well, I don't know about all that, Alpha, but that's what it's going to. That's if you're not paying attention, and you should be paying attention to politics. That is where our world is heading.
I will say
especially our country, because everybody agrees with we need to have the government telling us whether or not we can have abortions. I don't want the government telling me what my wife should and should not do.
Honestly, I don't think the government should be involved at all, but I think there should be a policy for repeat offenders. This is how the justice system works. If somebody's going to get fucking abortion every month, then they are at fault and they should pay the crime. It should be a crime to get fucking 5 abortions back to back just because you didn't want to use contraception. Getting an abortion for an unplanned pregnancy, there's these really people that go really hard on pro-life. We have enough people.
We do.
I am okay with people having abortions for unplanned pregnancies because it is a huge change to your life. But I also feel like that should be a hard decision for people to make. And when I see online people making like jokes about, oh, I just got rid of my baby, and it's celebration. It's like, you die. Just kill that person.
Right. So I actually, like, the question was posed. So they seen this Rebecca Del Carmino, you know what I'm talking about. So she is like, I think you've seen videos of her. I'll pull it up because I responded to her, literally responded to it. Not so much, what do you think of this? But how that was funny. Here it is. So Angela Belcamino, she's one of those liberals. I'm 42. I'm child free. Saturday night out. No babysitter needed. The right hates this, and I
don't care.
I can share it with you.
I personally do not care. You
right.
live your own life. If that's what you wanted, good. But when you post it online, it seems sad because you're trying to get like validation for your life choices. So, as in, you think you might have made the wrong one. Just shut the fuck up and do what you want.
Yeah, right. The question was posed, and I actually responded. I actually had to jump back in there. I said, "You're an annoying twit. Normal people don't care that you are child free. Why make an announcement of it? Good for you. You have no responsibilities and never will know what responsibility is."
Which it's fine. Some people want that. I just don't get the idea that it has to be like a badge of honor. It's like, yeah, I'm putting it to the man by not having kids and partying every night when I'm middle-aged. It's like, well, if you look historically, that is not necessarily looked on great in any culture. Like, no. I like, to be honest with you, just let people live their life. And I think shit like this is trying to throw people under the bus that were like, well, great, you didn't have kids or whatever. But it's like, you wouldn't have those responses if you didn't put the stupid shit out there.
So this is the actual post that responded. It was Alpha Fox 78 said, "Do you hate this?" And that's the video that I just shared with you. I hate it not because she is pro-abortion, but that she is annoying as hell. I could care less what her political views are. She is just an annoying twit.
Well, her posting it is the first thing I think about is someone seeking validation for her life choices. Yeah, and looking for people to be like, you did it right, go girl, boss bitch. It's like, why do you need that to live? We all make mistakes. We all make
choices of our own life.
Okay,
well, so apparently she's an influencer. So
she's also a fucking dumb bitch, and I don't care.
Correct, right.
Like, I mean...
I'm considered an influencer at 42. Meaning you spend more of your time online trying to fight with the algorithm to have your views be up near the top.
At 42, if you're an influencer, you realize your audience is fucking 15-year-olds.
So she's a movie actor. She's been in We Are Stars, We Are Stars, Lindsay's World, The Mend, and The Drunken Yoga Show.
It sounds all gay. I can't watch it.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Well, it sounds like someone that struggled to make it there, so this is her alternative. And
apparently not.
Like, honestly, to some extent, that's also engagement farming.
It is.
It's everywhere, and it's just like, people will take this a certain way, and I don't give a shit because views, and now my Twitter's worth this much. Alpha, I will say this. He says this is why he avoids politics. Cannot stand it because never does anything for him. It makes me more and more depressed. That is true, but ignorance is bliss.
It is.
And I like every time I think of like learning something new that makes me more worried and old and tired, I'm like, I don't know if I'd give up the knowledge for...
You need to know what's going on in the world, because if you don't
know your history, you are doomed to repeat it.
used to be the same.
People could live their entire life in that bubble and die in that bubble, which is fine. That's the choice you make. And I get it, because my life became worse learning about politics. But at the same time, it had to happen for me at some point.
Because eventually you're going to have to make your own educated guess on who to vote for.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you ever get to the point where you're thinking potentially you'll have a family or do something. It's like, do I want my kids to live in this type of world?
Right.
I don't have kids, but the thought has still crossed my mind, and I do still have stances that are important.
Yes.
Well, other than that, go ahead.
I got one last thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
Give it to me.
Wait, what am I even fucking...
I have no idea.
I can't show all of this, or probably much of it, but...
Connor, how you doing?
Is Connor alive?
I'm gonna go no.
Okay, I'll bring back you guys. So I saw this thing, and the story just gets better as it goes along. So there's this news agency, and they were talking. Hold on, I need to do something with this, or else you guys are gonna vanish. So body cam video shows arrest of quadriplegic.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna be able to show all of it, but I will see what they say.
You can take me. Hey, chill. I just hit you again. What the you can do about it?
Only on 10 tonight, body camera video showing the arrest of a quadriplegic man accused of ramming officers with his motorized.
Video to...
Yeah, I have to show it to you guys. Hold on. I just played a bit of it.
It's all right.
All right, here.
Just...
Yeah, I'll recite
you gotta give him that huck too and spit on that
So,
thing.
you can take me. Hey, chill. I just hit you again. What the you can do about it?
Go back.
Only on 10 tonight, body
Yeah.
You can take me.
I'm sorry.
Hey, chill. I just hit you again. What the you can do about it?
Only on 10 tonight, body camera video showing the arrest of a quadriplegic man accused of ramming officers with his motorized wheelchair.
I'm gonna skip over some of this because I think it's gonna get us banned from YouTube. I don't know what this woman says. She's on the scene. Yeah. But there's a moment where this story takes a turn.
Video.
So, take me. Hey, chill. I just hit you again. What the you can do about it?
What would you do about
Knock him the fuck out of his chair.
it? Just wait. He's kind of like a potato.
For the first time, we are seeing body camera video when Miami-Dade police say they were assaulted by a quadriplegic man.
I'm sorry, but yeah. What do you do as a police officer?
Honestly,
I mean, the worst you can do.
Jail. I don't care. You can't walk.
What would I do? I think they arrest him. So that's where this is going. Do they show him getting this?
I mean, the worst that's gonna happen, right, is you're gonna get bruises on your shins.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
A case so unusual, even the judge at first appearance seemed surprised.
Oh
I have
no!
truly never seen a case like this.
It happened May 1st. Police were called to the Southwest Miami-Dade home.
Yeah. Yeah, that is extreme muscle atrophy.
He came up so strong.
Look, I'm just gonna say he ain't missing out on those fucking Buster Burgers.
What happened to leg day? No, sorry. No,
he needs to work on that core a little bit.
It's wild because I think because of his physical deformity, nobody's really challenged him. But it's like you can't pick a fight like this.
No.
Look at his house though; it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
you'll find out.
Of Brian Amastha.
Also, oh no!
But this is where what? He's an artist? I don't know why he has cars.
Seriously, why does he have 2 Lambos behind him? He can't drive them.
Well, we must continue the story.
Known as El Valiente, his stage name when he's performed.
he is huge in Miami.
Oh my god, he's very children's
dude.
clothes.
If this comes out as a fucking joke, I'm gonna be fucking upset.
Music.
This is just a running fucking
Amasa
joke.
and his mother, seen here in red, were involved in an argument. But when mom is put in handcuffs, this happens.
Nah, bro, don't fucking do that. Hey, stop hitting me with the
Why
chair.
the cops putting
That's a
her help
battery on
her
you just said.
She's old.
So he was in an argument with his mother, and they put her in handcuffs, and he started ramming people with his chair. That's what happened. And now they're like, the news agency is like, if you didn't know what it looked like, here's his chair.
When we interviewed Amasa back then, he told us.
Zoom in on the back wheel? Like,
They're gonna tell you.
What's the point?
This.
They claimed that I hit them with my wheelchair.
Did you?
I absolutely did not.
The report stated that you
And this
spit
is
at
right.
an officer.
Right. So I suffer from acid reflux, so I normally spit.
I'm stopping it so we don't get copyright claimed. Okay. So this is a real story, JP. It's not a joke. This is
Oh my god! How you can't make this shit up?
You can't. And of course, it has to be fucking Florida.
I love the fact that he's like, I suffer from acid reflux. Yeah, me too.
A lot.
I'm not fucking spitting all over the place like fucking camel.
And I spat like the totally different direction.
But this is the video.
You want to listen or not? Bro.
He totally spit in the same direction because he can't turn his fucking head.
Well,
because it'll fall off his fucking head.
He is such a gangster, man. But it gets worse.
Amasa also told us he felt humiliated during his arrest.
Bro, you laughing at me, bro?
Because he was separated from his motorized wheelchair, which he says was damaged when it was put on a flatbed.
Wait a second.
Put on a flatbed. Damaged motorized because he was separated from his motorized wheelchair, which he says was damaged when it was put on a flatbed. You see one officer appearing to text someone, joking that they were
Who could have put him on the load truck?
On the tow truck. Oh man, that's not good. The officers just come on, low hanging fruit. Not like what we're doing.
Joking that they were going to put him on the tow truck.
Yeah, because
Officers later seen inspecting their legs. Amasa charged with 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer.
And we are told that corrections did not have a transport van to transport Amasa with his wheelchair, and that's why officers on scene called fire rescue to take him and called a tow truck to take the chair. We're told.
I like how you're stopping it. You're stopping at the most perfect time.
I have to say that was a ride.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what I'd do if I was a police officer and someone in a chair, quadriplegic, came up to me and started ramming me, spitting on me.
Yeah.
I would have probably like, you want some of this motherfucker?
He's like a Fabergé egg with legs and arms. And honestly, the thing that killed me the most is when they went to his fucking music videos. And he's in front of like Lamborghinis. Like, well, what?
They're loners. Literally just for the shoot.
I don't think there's really any more in this story, but goddamn.
That's great, man.
That was a good one to... I don't even know where I am anymore. Hold on. Oh, God. Yeah, that was a story, all right.
Yeah.
I found it funny.
I mean,
But
it's
if you can't find the humor in that shit,
I mean,
if somebody does, if Saturday Night Live, these are the kinds of skits Saturday Night Live would.
Yes.
I just
They're
can't
just
believe
like-
he's an actual like artist, and it just that moment where he's like, "You're taking my mother away." It's like, "Stop hitting me with your chair." If you didn't recognize, he's from, and it's just like him smiling in a cowboy hat. Just killed me.
Yep, 100%.
And then the other shot of him wearing toddler clothes.
Well, that's
Well, he kind of has to
I know
wear
he has
toddler
to.
clothes.
That's his clothes.
He looked like fucking Pinocchio gone wrong.
I feel like if somebody attacked me that was like that, I don't know, man. As soon as you hit me with the chair,
I'd break his fucking leg.
I'd Goldberg spear him.
He might disintegrate.
No, that's not him. He fucking initiated.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great. I don't think we have anything more.
You couldn't cuff that guy because
Yeah, he slip out. He got away from us. I don't know how.
He slipped out of the handcuffs. Now he's just flopping on the ground like a fish.
Well, he could win the Olympics. Fucking
He
breaking.
could be Australia's next break dancer.
Yeah,
That's
but thanks.
crazy.
I mean, that's it for us. Thanks for hanging out. Connor fell victim to the sleep.
Sleep, yes.
I knew as soon as he changed computers and he sounded like Voltron. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the
He
end.
probably had to go take care of his.
I think he actually just fell asleep, man. Which is understandable. I'm going to fall asleep now. So, everybody, have a good night. Thanks, Gina, Jurgen, Alpha. Anybody else that was in the chat that I didn't actually talk about right now because I've only seen.
Just the usual Aaron.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not shitting on it because he's always fucking here, but
how dare you?
Jurgen.
Aru was here. Jurgen.
Aru was here, yeah.
It was good times.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the love.
Yep. We'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday. Definitely. Well, no, Connor's here this.
Yeah, it's the next one.
I will not be here this next Sunday, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm out for next.
I know what I'm doing. Madden 25, baby.
Do it. Do it.
I'm just going to go through. I might start my Chromie, but I'm just going to go through certain things on the game. That's pretty much it. Just to give my review of it.
When is it released or?
It comes out tomorrow.
Oh, I know what
Well,
you're
today.
doing.
So actually today, yeah, well, no, because I have homework to do. I have to finish my assignment. I'm almost done with the first. I got a 100 out of 100 on my last paper. Still going strong. I was really worried about that this past week because now I know what I need to work on as far as writing. This one doesn't need to have, APA writing and citations. I mean, I do have to,
baby.
It's mostly references and such, but it's simple. It's not hard. I've done it before, but that's my final thing. And then I got to answer a couple of. So tomorrow. I'm hoping I might, and that releases at 2:00 on tomorrow. I might play
Madden.
it tomorrow, but I'm not going to stream it until next weekend.
JP is going to be streaming it sometime soon.
Yeah,
so if
sometime.
you're a Madden lover,
I'm not gonna start a thing. I'm just gonna go through some of the things and then just probably play a game and
just do a
get
showcase
my
of the
review
game.
on it.
Just do a
Yeah,
showcase
I'm
of the
just gonna
game.
showcase the game. I kind of did it with college football. I'm still gonna do that. The Road to Glory thing. I need to finish that, but I might do the Mike Chromie thing.
So you can expect that moving forward. I'll try to do Resident Evil 4 this Tuesday. This Wednesday, I think we've gone as far as we can with kind of building either the D&D until shit gets kind of better. So we'll probably do a stream of Jackbox or Fall Guys or something that's like generic.
Heather got a couple of games. I mean, we're gonna have more games. Heather's got a couple of games that she wants to do.
Most importantly, since it just hit the PlayStation Store in the PlayStation Plus section, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
That's another one. We've got a bunch of games coming up. Some of them will be multiplayer, some of them won't be, but nobody will be left alone to stream them. So it should be fun moving forward. Friday, of course, we go back to the fallout from SummerSlam, and we will get back to the Star Wars Roundtable.
Yes,
I think it's most likely to happen a couple weeks from now, when everybody's back, because I'm off. No, next week I can't. This week coming up I can't do, and next week Connor can't do. So it's probably going to be a couple weeks, 3 weeks from now, that we get back into that bad boy.
Also, what we are going to do, and we're not going to tell you what it is. We got a fucking special treat for you fucking people. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we're going to fucking do it. No, we're going to fucking do it. So please tune in, because you just never... I'm not sure when we planned it, but we'll probably make mention of when we're going to do it. Y'all better be there for it, because it's going to be fun. I promise.
So if you're lurking, that means subscribe now so you don't miss out on any of the fucking cool shit we got planned.
You people, if you don't like this, you're
people.
That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah.
Just
I'm gonna throw that out there, and we'll go with it as we may.
Peace out. We'll be back soon. Thanks for hanging out.